I'm Jackie Redmond, and you're listening to Missin Curfew.
Up dog. Good life. I got a tarp on right here, a Henley, letting it breathe a little bit, eh?
Nice.
Letting it air out a little bit.
I mean, they rock and roll with the t-shirts, fella.
Let
They
it air
have
out.
them.
Gotta let it air out.
mastered.
Let it air out.
Air that baby out.
There's so many things I love about Good Life, but they're team guys. Team guys. Tell me why even more. Tell me why.
Team guys and team girls.
Team guys and
that
team
girl
girls.
stuff is awesome. For all you guys listeners out there that's been listening to the boys talk about how good they look and how nice the tarps feel, do not hesitate. Go to goodlifeclothing.com, jump in the women's section and just shoot fire at the website and get your girl some just amazing clothes for Christmas. What do you think?
Comfy stuff, bud.
It is comfy,
stuff.
great colors. Your girl will love you forever, even though you've been a bad son.
Yeah, listen. You get her on the couch with the comfy clothes on, the glass of wine,
It's
and the
game
fireplace, throw on Yellowstone or whatever you're watching. Good
It's
Life,
game,
baby.
set, match.
And the team guys, glue guys they are at Good Life. Classy.
For a limited time only, Good Life is supporting the 11 Fund, Jimmy Hayes' fund. And at checkout, use the promo code MISSIN-JIMMY, that's MISSIN Jimmy, for 20% off your purchase order, and 10% of the proceeds will be going to the 11 Fund. So thank you to our friends at Good Life, and thank you to our listeners for your continued support.
Broadway Jimmy Scoops. Welcome back to a fresh new episode of Missin Curfew. I'm Shane O'Brien.
And I'm your co-host right beside you, Scotty Upshaw.
The up dog. Our boy Broadway Jimmy Scoops Hayes looking down as always. And Princey, the poor bastard, finally got out of Canada. He's in Mexico.
He's down there drinking some tequila and hopefully putting on a little SPF over that
I said, fuck
grizzly old beard and probably grizzly old back hair he's got going on.
Hopefully he hit up the Manscaped fucking lawnmower before he went down there.
You're going to need a lot more than that lawnmower, bud. Hey, that's it. That's like since the start of COVID, I think he's just had that thing nested up.
Hey, for the Canadian government out there, that's just a guy there that, like, that's what the guy that was just about to lose his marbles up
I
there.
think he has lost his marbles.
You gotta love Princey though. Every time you talk to him, you're like, boys, fellas, I need a trip down there.
Yeah.
Princey, don't worry, we got you the new year, but
Yeah, it's going to be okay, bud.
you got to feel for a guy that's been, I guess, not locked down. That's not the right word, but hasn't left the country in 2 years, basically, right?
What do you think he's been doing in Mexico? Him and his old lady just hitting the strip clubs and just getting whacked or what?
I don't know.
When
I've
you're
never-
locked up that long, it's like, I don't know.
They should be doing whatever the fuck they want to do,
The
right?
kettle would be fucking steaming off here. I'd be going for it. Full blast.
I've never met his wife. Have you met
No.
Mrs. Prince?
No, nice lady though.
Yeah,
Nice lady.
I'm sure they're having a good time.
If she puts up with Princey, she got to be a saint.
Did they bring? He has 2 kids, right? I wonder.
Yeah.
Did they bring the kids, the whole family, to Mexico, or is that just the
whole family.
Wow,
They brought the whole family.
that's a lot to travel down there.
Who's looking after him when you go to the strip club?
I don't. Maybe just tuck them, hope they fall asleep, and say, "Okay, this is our time to slide out."
Yeah. At least down for a couple cocktails at the bar.
Up dog, Super Wednesday strikes again. It's undefeated.
I saw you out
It's
there. I had
undefeated.
fun. I had a blast.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, a little golf day, into a little dinner, into a little Rothschild, show it to our boy Frankie. It was fun. It was great.
Thanks for dinner, by the way.
Yeah, no worries, buddy.
I fucking knew your class act.
Yeah, no
You were
worries.
so fired up for Super Wednesday golf. I knew going into dinner, I'm like, this guy's going to he's letting it eat.
Yeah, well, I invited you guys. I figured it was, I got you to come all the way over from CDM, from the peninsula. I know that's a bit of a, it's a commitment.
I actually don't mind that. That's a fucking jump, skip, and a hop for me. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Gets me out of the house.
It was a good little golf day on Wednesday. What did I shoot? 80? What'd you fire?
I was bad. I shot like 85.
We got smoked in the San Gabriel by the boys at Big Canyon. Tipped in, pickup, Moore. Who else? Fucking Obradovich.
Bunch of sandbaggers.
That Friday game, the typical Friday game, you got to be careful. You can get rinsed in that one.
Yeah, it's a rinsing. I feel like as a zero when I haven't golfed in a month and a half. There's been a lot of busy action here.
You got a lot going on.
A lot of fucking hanging Christmas lights, putting Santa up. Fucking, it's been a lot. So nice to get out there on the track, and here we are again. Super Wednesday tomorrow. Super Wednesday, if you call it the Super Wednesday after.
That was Super Wednesday.
I'm looking forward to maybe teeing it up, but it's Christmas tournament at our
Christmas tournament tomorrow. We did not get in. There are 6 groups on the waiting list. We were late to the party. Thomas J. Doherty, I'm going to put it on him a little bit. I thought he would sign us up. He forgot.
There's no golf.
Oh no,
without us, there's not a golf.
He thought he was playing.
Play
He thought he was playing with another group, and then found out that he's not. So we're looking for somewhere to play tomorrow. Basically, is what I'm telling you. But Christmas walk this Sunday in CDM. I'd love to have you over in CDM again. Basically, they shut down the streets. Dress up. I got a little. I'll let you see what I got. But a little Christmas outfit.
Nice.
Yeah, Megan Weber and Smiley having a little brunch at 11. Slide over for that.
Wheels are turning now. We should have Missin Curfew fucking onesies. Is what we should have.
Fuck. I know. I want to talk to you about
reach out to my boy.
I want to actually talk to you about a Missin Curfew golf bag. I'm due for a new golf bag. I'm thinking a navy golf bag.
Yeah,
maybe that
good color.
G4 one that you guys got at the Talent Cup.
G4, big sponsor.
With a little fucking Missin Curfew on the little pocket. You think you can maybe...
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, okay.
We'll put a couple limited editions.
In the new year.
How about we do like 10 bags? We'll give a couple away on a raffle. We'll sell a couple, and then
it's a great idea.
You'll have a nice new bag shining up in the golf cart.
I got one of those like little stitch bags, you know the ones I'm talking about, right? There's only 2 pockets. Sometimes you need more than 2 pockets, right? Like I went and played Butler in Chicago, and I was in one. I couldn't put my sweater in there, so it's time for a new golf bag. The one I fucked up the one zipper, so
you're only as good as you look, bud.
Fuck, look good, play good, feel good.
That's right.
Up dog, talking about looking good. Your fucking spread you had at Thanksgiving there, you weren't lying. I saw it on your Instagram. Holy fuck.
Yeah, Scott and Mandy did an incredible job. And it's been just, to touch on, it's been such a great week having my parents here.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen them in a while thanks to COVID. Them leaving the country has been somewhat of an issue, and seeing their grandbaby. But, man, pulling up as we, last week when we pulled up, Izzy just even saying my dad's name, Papa, just knowing the voice, like, thank God for FaceTime.
Yeah.
And,
no kidding.
Kids and your grandparents and your brothers and sisters, so their aunts and uncles, like everyone getting a chance to really, see your kid grow up. And that's been, a lifesaver for me. So my parents leave tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and it's just been a week that's I've been fucking looking forward to for a long time. So shout out to them. But the dinner, they killed the dinner. We smoked that turkey on the Traeger. Me and my brother-in-law Matt. He's one hell of a cook. And we had Joe D over. We had Loops,
Joe DeMarco,
Flowers. We sat and watched some football. We drank a ton of wine, tons of wine.
That does not surprise me.
How much wine did you guys drink?
I was hurting. I'm not going to lie to you. I showed up shout out to the Doherty family for letting me tag along. I went to Big Canyon Country Club, and once again, they don't let you down. I mean, they had a fucking sushi bar, a seafood bar. Then they had all the traditional Thanksgiving fixins on that side. And then over here, they had the turkey and the ham and the steak, and then the Sunday bar. Now, up dog, listen, I didn't eat a whole lot of food, but I did go up to that Sunday bar and dominate. Pure domination. They had hot caramel sauce. You don't get that option a lot. When you see the hot caramel sauce, you got to take advantage of it.
You take advantage of it.
So then Kim, Tom's wife, his mother, who's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. She prepared a whole other Thanksgiving dinner at her house. So we went back there. She gave me all things to take home. So I had turkey sandos for the whole weekend. I had stuffing. I had
dinners in one day.
She prepared it for leftovers. You can't really take leftovers from Big Canyon. I'm sure you could, but I don't know if it's a great look if you're walking out with
totally. Just a couple
They're like, O'Brien, you're not invited back last year.
Can you just put a bunch of this gravy in this container?
Yeah, exactly. So
without naming names, how's the talent looking at Big Canyon?
Well, I mean, there was one young members, that was fucking. Are you trying to set me up for failure here?
I just said without naming names.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know her name.
I don't even know if you've told me this yet, but I can just imagine like everyone dresses up for a nice country club Thanksgiving dinner, right? Like you just can't show up like Flower shows up to my house for Thanksgiving with like sweatpants and an Eagle shirt on.
He wore a Sixers shirt, didn't he?
He wore the Sixers shirt. Shout out to Frosty who actually threw it to him. But you got to dress up.
Everybody was dressed up. Listen, I wore what I thought was I should have broke up. I got new suits, right? I wore one on NHL Network with you. I was going to bust out another new suit, and I'm like, I went collared shirt with jeans and some common projects. But I get there, and everyone's dressed to the nines. And best dressed is one of our boys, Mike Carpenter. He had this like brown suit on with a white shirt and a brown tie to match the brown shoes. And his whole family was dialed. His son Asher was dressed up nice.
He's a good kid.
Yeah, so I felt a little
beautiful daughter.
I felt a little underdressed, and I had a collared shirt on. I thought that was the only.
Carp's a realtor now. He's
I know
You got to look good. You never know who's coming in that wants to sell their house.
He was best dressed. So Thanksgiving up, dog. I'm glad you had a good time with your family. Super Wednesday strikes again. Uppy, I was watching Golf Channel today. Tiger Woods finally comes out of the woodworks. Says, listen, I'm not going to play full time, but I'll be able to come back. And listen, you've been through injuries. Fuck, it was good to see him talk, but like to see him admit that I'm never going to be back to where I was like that. That's it. I'm just going to play the odd time like Ben Hogan did and play the majors. And so it's kind of bittersweet for me. It's good to see him, but I'm like, fuck, I'm never going to be able to see him probably like battle like he used to.
I think you'll see him battle Obes.
Yeah.
But you're lucky you're even getting to see him after the accident he was in.
Yeah.
We're all lucky that we still have Tiger Woods on this planet. And, there's a lot of things Tiger's yet to do. He's yet to coach his kid through a championship, junior golf championship, college, what college life and golf will be about. And I think he'll focus his time on giving back to people. I think Tiger recognizes who he is more so than ever, and how big of a public figure he is and what he can just do to the golf community and what he's done to, the black community for ages and all colors and all races. Tiger Woods has been an icon for us as a sports icon. And to hear him say like he's battled back, from a spine fusion to climb Mount Everest and, get to the top again, and win the Masters. And then, for this to happen, climbing Mount Everest just it's not in the cards, and it's nice to see him admit it. And I think Tiger sets his goals so high. He's probably set more goals that are unobtainable for any human being on the planet, and he reaches them. But now he's maybe giving just an outlook that I'm going to set goals that are going to be goals within my body now, because his body's been banged up, and we know that, being hurt and going through a career. And I just can't wait to see the guy out there again, smashing a couple golf balls, making birdies, seeing his name on the leaderboard. And we will.
Yeah, I hope so.
I 100% I think we will. Now, he's not going to be playing in the tournaments you think of a tournament where you're walking fucking up and down the hills, and he's going to be probably picking 5-10 tournaments maybe a year. You're right. 5 tournaments a year.
He'll play the 4.
He's going to play his at Riviera.
You would think he'd play the 4 majors if he can, if he can walk. He still said he's not out of the woods, but like, you make a great point of like how big of an icon he is. Like, I was at lunch today, and his press conference was on every TV at lunch. Like, people are like, wow, Tiger Woods, like a couple ladies behind us, like, wow, Tiger Woods is on TV. We haven't seen him since the accident. Like, he's that big of an icon that when he finally does a press conference, if you're a golf fan or not, you're going to listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, so. And I just think he's still young, man. He's in his 40s.
44, 45?
Yeah, he has such a long life to live. And, as a close friend of ours with a bad back and a beat up body, you have long time to live and spend with your kids. It's like, if golf is beating you up and golf takes a toll on your body,
which it does.
Yeah, totally. You want to live pain-free into your 50s and 60s. And unfortunately, the way we beat up our bodies growing up and throughout our 20s and 30s, it affects us as we get older. And this guy has access to the best trainers and doctors in the world. And, they're probably sitting there going, Tiger, it's probably time you focus on shortening up your backswing, picking
Tiger, take a little offer,
bud.
Take a little offer.
Yeah,
try to hit that little cut in there. Smooth.
Get a little extra leg room on that private bird. But just, focus on playing with your kids and bending over and kicking a soccer ball with them and doing dad stuff, because that's important too. And I think that's an area of his life that he probably makes him the most happy. And, winning golf tournaments was maybe a thing of the past, but yeah, as long as we still got Tiger on this planet, man, we're lucky.
Yeah, I agree. Tiger, if I got any advice, get in the pool. Get in the pool up, dog. Hey, get in there, move a little water around Tiger. It does wonders for you. So good to see him back. His Hero World Challenge is this week. So that gives us something to watch this week.
He's smacking it around that too, right?
He's not playing, but
he'll be there.
All the top players are playing.
Good.
You can't turn down Tiger's tournament. So
yeah.
Up, dog. These baseball players, man. Shout out to our boy PJ McCagg, Scott Boras, biggest agent in the world, has all these fucking guys basically that are signing these monster contracts.
Monsters.
Max Scherzer, 3 years, 145 bananas.
42 a year? 41.5 a year?
A year.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
How's his DMs today?
Supposed to be.
Hey, what kind of babes are hitting him up in the DM?
Everyone.
God damn it.
Hold on here. I gotta.
Old Max. How old's Max?
He's up there a bit, and he's played a long time.
Probably in his 40 now, right?
Yeah, we could look that up.
I'll look it up.
Look it up, bud.
Max Scherzer.
Where's the picture I sent?
This guy, 37 years old. He's fucking our age.
37 years old, $43 million a year. He's already made fucking $100 million, hasn't he?
100. He's made way more than that.
200?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Here's the highest paid guys in the NHL, up, dog. Sorry, in all 4 major sports. Pat Mahomes, 45 bananas. Curry, 45 bananas.
Steph Curry, right?
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Scherzer in the MLB, 43 million. And then our boy Connor McDavid making 12.5 bananas.
That's a hard-earned 12.5 bananas there.
In 2002, Yager made $11 million. And I said to you in our pre-show production meeting, I said, Uppy, that's fucked to me. And you're like, well, there was no salary cap then.
Yeah, Bobby Holik was making 8.5 or $9 million bucks.
That's true. And I guess my response to you is there's no more of those middle guys making big money, right? Now there's guys making 12.5, and it seems like the rest of the guys are, I guess there's a little bit of a middle.
Yep.
But the veteran guys aren't making like what they used to either. I'm just shocked that Yogs is making $11 million in 2002, and 20 years later, McDavid's only making 12.5.
I think it has to do with a lot. Hockey definitely needs to find ways to generate more viewership, more partnerships. We need bigger companies and TV deals to come on board and support our game. We need continued growth worldwide. We need to go into Asia. We need to go all over Europe, South America. We need to become more of a worldwide game. I think the Olympics helps that. But this salary cap, and you talk about growth as a brand and as a business, and everyone wants to praise Gary Bettman for what he's done. Our star players are not getting paid what they should. They're elite, more than elite.
If you're Connor McDavid and you realize, like, hey, this is what I'm doing in the NHL, I'm working just as hard as the rest of these guys.
He should, like Bo Jackson, just leave and play some other sport.
Like, he's probably like, okay, yeah, Patty Mahomes, you are sick. But are you that much better at I get it, right? We're a Canadian game. No one cares that much in the States about us. I get it. Listeners, we realize that they're never going to make $45 million in the NHL. We're just shooting the shit here. But to him, he's got to sometimes be like, for how hard I work, I'm making 12 and these guys are making 45. Like, and basketball players, like, you got the guy coming off the bench making 15 bananas that can't hit a fucking shot, but he's making 15. It's just like
in his sleep.
I guess it's bitterness from an ex-player, but it's just when I saw those numbers, and I'll give a shout out to Nick Kiprios. He was the one that tweeted it out, and I immediately fired it over to you, and I just wanted to get your opinion on it, and it just blows my mind a little bit up. I know it's never going to change, probably, or we're never going to get to those numbers, but it's just.
Well, there should be, for the owners that want to spend money and have stars on their team, maybe there is a soft cap, maybe there's a taxable cap. But this escrow situation, which probably I would say 80% of these listeners don't understand our escrow situation that we've dealt with since we came in the league, Obes.
I know. And
by that, I mean the owners have literally ripped money out of the players' pockets to cover all their expenses, their private planes, their hotel businesses, their restaurant businesses, their parking. They add everything into what's considered hockey-related revenue. I'm not a numbers guy. If I was, I wouldn't be doing a podcast right now. I'd be making money. I'd be an engineer at Apple. But basically, hockey players for the last 3 lockouts have got the short end of the stick. They've been locked out. We've been part of that. We had shortened seasons. We've had 24% rollbacks. Think of a guy having a deal, and I know one. Jose Theodore had one after a Hart Trophy. Boom, signs an extension. Boom, gets the fucking lockout, rollback 24%. If you signed a $10 million deal, you're giving back $2.4 million right off the hop before the 18% escrow kicks in place. You're giving back 45% of your money that the owners are just willing to stand up and fight for. To me, it doesn't make sense. The NHL needs to continue to grow, whether that's new leadership up top. We don't know.
I was just going to say, like, if you're Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon and I don't know, all these other young guys, are you like, fuck, it's time for a new commissioner? Like, are you going to the union being like, hey, listen, no disrespect to Gary. He's been here for fucking 109 years, right? The owners love him. I get why the owners love Gary. Don't get me wrong. If I was an owner,
yeah,
I would love Gary too. But if you have the power of Connor McDavid and you're looking at other salaries. I'm never going to say that he's going to get to where he's making 40 bananas, but could he make 20 a year? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, is there room for growth? I was never obviously in that position as a player. I was happy to be making what I'm making, but it's just something I thought about. If I was as good as Connor McDavid and I saw these other salaries, I'd be like, is it time that we need a new commissioner, a new look at this league? And I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think right now, because this flat cap due to COVID and all that stuff is affecting things right now. But moving forward, Obes, I think it's a great business idea for these guys. These guys have opportunity. Your lifespan as a hockey player, it can be long. Nowadays there's no hitting. It can be long.
I know.
These guys can go years.
Ovechkin's going to play till he's 50, like Brady.
You're not even getting touched until the playoffs, and then hopefully the turn of things starts to turn into hockey again.
I saw a fucking clip the other night. I was watching the Ducks Leaf game that we were supposed to go to. I apologize to you. I was still recovering from my...
I actually thought the game was at 7 anyway. Sorry, Shaddy. Shaddy left us 3 tickets.
Shaddy,
me
we
and my
apologize.
dad, Obes. I thought the game was at 7.
5 o'clock starts. I should have told you that. I was a Duck. Those 5 o'clock starts, you're at Sharky's by 9:30.
Oh, that's
You're
great.
drunk by 10:15.
Maybe even catch the late game.
You're scooping one by 1, and then you're just home.
Yeah. And then you're up till
and then
4.
You have the next day off, and you're hurting.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll be talking about not touching anyone. Matthews goes to the front of the net, and Troy Terry, who I get is not a physical player, but he's literally standing right beside him, like shoulder to shoulder, doesn't touch him. Matthews tips the top corner, boom, goal. Like, I was like, man, these guys, that's exactly what they wanted. Matthews was one of the guys complaining about cross-checks earlier last year or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a different game.
I mean, you can't let a guy stand there, can you? Like...
You can now.
I know.
Because they want goals.
I know.
So the league loves it. The teams love it. I mean, an old school coach probably doesn't love it until it happens to his guy in front of their net and they score. And I guess it's just the tides are turning with it. We're old school. Let's stay old school.
We are old. We're dinosaurs.
But fuck. The good guys in the league, they know what fucking hockey
We're
is.
going to get to some good guys in the league that are still playing the right way. We're going to get to those guys. And to our listeners, listen, me and Uppy, we were very blessed to listen. NHLers make a lot of money. I get it. We're just talking big picture here. So, Updog, speaking of a guy who just got paid, Jack Hughes.
Just announced.
What the fuck was it again?
8 years, $64 million.
This is insane to me.
This is insane. Let's just give a shout out to Pat Brisson and his boy Ethan Fink, 2 agents who got this done.
Good for them. Good for Jack. Listen, if somebody wanted to give me 68 bananas, obviously I would have taken it. But when you have, what does he have, 20 career goals?
Jack Hughes has 17 career goals.
How many games has he played? Has he played 100 games?
Yes.
He's played 100 games.
Yes, he has. He's played, I'll tell you right now.
I guess, tell me.
I mean, this is just, we're talking about hockey players not getting paid. Well, this kid this is a deal.
I'm talking about the best players in the world, not this kid. This kid is, maybe someday he could be, but from what I've seen, I'm talking about McDavid's and McKinnon's. Those guys should be making fucking.
Yeah, I just saw a quote like, this is big for me and my family. And I guess so. I guess so. Now, Jack Hughes right here, career stats on, I like to check out this website. Elite Prospects every now and then. This guy has played, Obi, 119 games. He's got 19 goals. So he's got 54 points in basically he's got 0.5 points a game. And he just signed for $64 million. Now that's what's wrong with the league, but it's also what's great for the league for these young kids.
I mean, listen, New Jersey, I'll give them, they got a good thing going right now.
Yep.
Lindy Ruff, I think he's a great hockey guy. We played against him when he was in Buff.
Yeah, he coached me at the Spangy.
I think he was in Dallas too, right? When we played against him a little bit, if I'm correct.
Yep.
He's a great coach. They got a great thing going. They're playing well. So maybe Fitzgerald's like, listen, I want to give this first overall pick. I want to lock him down. Good for him. I'm never going to, I want everyone to get paid from an ex-player's perspective and now a fan's perspective. I look at it like that's a lot of money to a kid that's only played 100 games. Why not give him a 3-year deal and see if he can? I don't know, but I guess if you get him locked up, maybe near the back end, it's a good deal for them. I'm not sure.
Like, how does Pettersson go with his first 3 years that he has?
Pettersson's wishing he signed a 7-year deal right now.
Well, totally.
Yeah.
But like this can happen. I just see more upside to making these kids prove themselves for another 3 years or another 2 years, right? especially when you're hurt.
Yeah.
Like I was,
I'm
I hate to talk about me too, but I was fucking hurt, and Trotsy was burying me to make me earn it, like back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you're hurt. This kid, yeah, he can dangle. Yes.
So let's say,
holy shit.
Let's say you were 6th overall pick, right?
Yeah.
So let's say they would have given you what was it, 8 years, 68 million.
Oh fuck!
How do you think you would have unfolded there under the first couple of years of the contract?
I don't know if I would have changed too much.
No, you probably wouldn't have. But I'm just saying,
but
you would.
Still,
it fucking. It's. I guess you could give these young kids these deals now because maybe they're more mature than us, and maybe that's not the right word. They're more professional. They don't care about the finer things of the league, you know. So they're like, we can give this kid. He's not going to just go on a 2-year hiatus of chasing trim and not fucking competing. Yeah, but at the same time, I think you have to earn it.
Yeah, you kind of say that he was hurt a bit. Like shortened year last year, he almost played every game, 56 games. The year before, he played 61, so he was hurt. But he's like a kid. He's tiny. He's
tiny. He needs to get in the gym and just fucking.
He's 5'11", 176 pounds.
Soaking wet. I bet he's not wearing that right.
Do you remember the first time you ever, well, it might be
weighed
different
176
pounds?
No,
but this might be different for you.
When I was born.
When I was doing this draft, when I was doing the all the draft testing and you go in, you meet with teams.
Oh yeah, I didn't even do that.
They were like eyeing me up, going like, you're not strong enough. You're not tough enough. I was like 190 pounds maybe. Like these kids are 170 pounds.
I know.
How does that, what the hell?
I don't think they care about that anymore.
They don't, right?
No, because when you're coming to the league, they're like, hey kid, you're going to have to go out there.
You're going to have to get beat up.
You're going to go out there against Darian Hatcher and fucking Mike Rathje and Chris Pronger. And
totally.
Like, you got to beef up a bit because Prongs is about to cross-check you in the arm as
like
hard
10
as he
times,
can.
yeah. Lidstrom worked me over the first game too.
Like, so it was just different for you. Like, and me too. For me, it was a good thing, right? They wanted still big guys. Like, if I was coming in the league now, I would have no opportunity. But Jack Hughes, congratulations, fella. We're
just hard on you because listen,
we're jealous.
Yeah, no, but don't worry. We'll get to Jack Hughes. We'll bring him on. He'll be a good interview. But we're just curious as to how these deals go down. I don't know.
Good agent, Pat Brisson.
Good agent.
Good job. I should have maybe Pat Brisson. No offense, Jerry Johansson, Steve Kolowitz. Where was my 68 million?
Totally.
Up Dizzle. I hit a 3-team parlay last night, and I just want to give some love to our boy Broadway. I've hit 2 parlays this year, but I've missed a bunch of them, right? And at the start of the year, I put out a parlay, and I'm 0 for 3. Missed all 3 games were the other way. I would have won.
Get chirped?
I just was a little gun shy. I was gun shy. So Broadway, Scoopsy, you did it all last year. You took it on the chin like a man. So shout out to you, brother. I miss you every day. I love you. And way to fucking put your balls out there because I don't have the balls to do it. And fucking the Flames in the shootout last night, it kept going down the depth chart. I was hoping Richardson could be the one to fucking end it for me, but it was
7 rounds.
Who scored it? Backlund.
Backlund, shelf, short side. Like he came in on his forehand and went just quick up top glove.
Just terrible.
The
terrible duster on him.
Fucking goalies in that were great. Markey's
so good. That Yari has bounced back unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like the playoffs he had last year, they were talking about they need a new goalie. His numbers
Kristen Jari.
Yeah, his numbers are Vezina-like.
I guess he's like 4th in the league right now, statistic-wise.
That Markstrom is doing some fucking. He's so good and so big and
he's feeling it. You could just see the excitement he has too when he's in his net. He stopped Sidney Crosby on the breakaway, shootout last night, and of course they zoom in on Marky's face. Good-looking guy, nice eyes, fucking
good swag.
He fucks, yeah. Tatties. Anyway, you could see him kind of catching Sid as he turned around. And when you play the game in the NHL, you're always like, as you watch a game on TV, you're always still like reminiscing of it while you're on the ice with these guys. And I'm like, fucking Marky wants Sid to turn around so he can
give him the winker. Suck it, Sid.
I just got you. Because he's the best fucking, Sid coming in on you in a shootout to win the game and you save him. It's big time.
Yeah.
It's big time.
Speaking of, Sid's got a bad one too. And listen, Movember's for a great cause, prostate cancer, right? It's awesome. But there's some bad dusters out there.
Yeah, there is. Sid's has gotten way better.
Backlund's duster's terrible. I saw a couple dusters last night watching games. I'm like,
thank God
it's the 30th here, right? Let's get raise the money, charity, let's go.
Yeah.
Because there's some bad dusters. And listen, I never grew one because I have a bad duster. And maybe I should have, but I always donated, obviously, at the end of November to a great cause. I was a single guy, Uppy, and you know, maybe it's selfish, but I didn't want to risk the whole month of November with the duster.
Yeah, so you think you're feeling bad. These guys haven't got laid in a month.
I'm like, I look at the schedule, I'm like, ooh, LA, Anaheim in November, no chance I'm going the duster.
Yeah, no chance. It was even sometimes in the playoffs, I'd be like, God, I just need to get laid one time here. But I can't do it.
Oh, yeah, you had the goatee with the fucking...
Oh, it was bad.
You know, as a great duster is this guy's the same duster as when I played against him for the Chicago Wolves. Is Brad Larson, the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets?
Yeah.
He has the fucking
thick,
like jumping on the Harley, Sons of Anarchy, like look out, duster.
Yeah, he played the game hard.
He did.
He was in Chicago when I was in
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
We played against him in the playoffs.
Is he captain there?
No. Guess who the captain was there? Steve Maltese.
Steve Maltese, yeah. Lefty. Just a PP guy. That guy was drunk.
Now?
He had
just
to drink
played
beer.
the power play.
Oh, my God. What a lead.
He's like the guy, the captain from Goon, where his wife divorced him. He's drunk at the rink. That American League was... And
that guy played there for like 10 years at least.
He made like fucking
300,
400K a year.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, to ride the bus. No, they flew there too, which was pretty nice. So, Updog, puck line the other night, bro. We had the Bruins over my poor Canucks. Marchand, great block shot by Charlie McAvoy. Marchand makes a nice play.
Off the wall, he makes a good play.
2-on-1. Chips it over to Bergeron. Me and Flowers are doing the pumpernickel. I'm about to text you, and then what happened up?
Our boy Travis fucking Green decides to call.
I found out.
You did?
It's the league. Wasn't Greener. Anything under the last minute, the league has to review. Or last 2 minutes.
Even an offside?
Even an offside. That's what fucking Cooley told me. Because I kind of chirped, I'm like, fucking Greener,
I couldn't believe
cost the boys some money.
9 seconds left.
9 seconds left. The game was over.
I know. And Loops, I was watching the game with Loops. Shout out again to my mom who cooked homemade spaghetti that night. It was insanity.
Wow.
Garlic bread. It was just great. So we were just stuffed on the couch, and I'm thinking, we're watching Sunday Night Football. They got the Ravens game on, and then I'm like, all right, this is just going to be a nice one to stick in the bank because it's a double swinger, right? It's not like you're tying it.
It's a double swinger.
Yeah, so you're either winning whatever you bet or you're losing. So that's
a
double
swinger. That's what it is.
Not the swing you want to be part of.
Not the swing you like either. No. So I don't even think anything of it. They show the bench, and I can see Bergeron and Marchand looking like, I'm like, uh-oh. And Flowers actually saw it on the play.
I knew it was offside.
Did you?
Too,
yeah. Fuck.
And only mistake Patrice Bergeron's ever made in his career.
I know. And then that's going on, and Lamar Jackson's throwing 4 picks in the Ravens game, and they're fumbling the ball. I'm like, what's going on here? I just went from like...
I'll tell you what, in that game, I could not stand when Lamar Jackson, in the fourth quarter, there's a minute and something left. They're up 8, right?
Yeah.
And
it was a sloppy game.
He's fucking high-fiving guys on the bench. I'm like, you threw 4 picks. You played the worst game of the year. And this team, they're not done yet. They can still tie the game. And you're fucking sitting there, helmet off, like fisting everyone like you just fucking won the game for everyone. It was bad football.
My boy Baker Mayfield, who I've been a big fan of forever. I saw him at an establishment in Vegas, which maybe like
he hasn't been great.
I think he's hurt, but
his left shoulder's like falling off, but he's, I mean,
not pretty.
I don't know. He's had a lot of chances.
The 3-team parlay scoops. Yeah, I hit it for you, fella. You're up there helping me out. That's my second one of the year, up dog.
What's the odds on that?
I took 2 favorites, and the Canucks were a pick 'em. I think 2,500 to 250 to win.
1,000?
No, it was a little bit more than that.
Nice.
1,500, 1,600 maybe. Yeah, it was.
That's fucking pennies. That's good.
That's pretty good.
Christmas, buy yourself a Christmas gift.
Well, it's the thing about gambling. You never tell about the ones you lose. You want me to go over my losses here? We have a whole nother podcast. Updog, our next segment is brought to you by our good friends at GoodLife. I got my GoodLife Henley on here. Little light blue coming at you. It's just called National League. It's National League, just like the stuff they make at GoodLife. It's fucking National League. We're going to talk about what's going on around the league right now, fella. First of all, Team Canada USA comes out with the Olympic jerseys. Our boy Matt Gell, me and Matt Gell have this conversation a lot. Matt Gell's a good America boy, a good Boston College guy. We both agree that Canada should never have black in their uniforms. The old Canada Cup with the red and white, that's all you need. You don't need black in there. I know the World Juniors, they do it, whatever. But I'm talking for World Cup or Olympics, just give me the red and white. What'd you think of the unis? I mean, the red one with the black maple leaf, doesn't feel like Canada, does it?
No, it doesn't, but
doesn't feel like Canada. The white ones aren't bad.
The white ones, yeah, the white one looks great. I actually think that the leaf looks like an NFT. It pops right out of the jersey. Looks great. The black to me, like, I kind of like it.
You do? Okay, that's fine.
I think it pops. It definitely pops. Now the red with the black number and the black lettering, that to me, that should be just red and white. Like, why is the red jersey way different than the white jersey? They should be just opposite, right?
I got it right here. So do you like the black one?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the black should be worn at least 1 or 2 times.
Against who? Who would you wear those against?
Someone
Kazakhstan or what?
Pound. Yeah.
What do you wear against Team USA? You bring out the white ones and hope that,
Yeah. Yep.
I just don't think that red one should have a black maple leaf.
No,
Why not just a white maple leaf?
Wow, that's probably hard. The white maple leaf looks maybe a little weird on a red jersey.
Does it?
Doesn't it?
I mean, look at this. Look at the one in the middle here. That's the one me and Mac L like. The old Canada half maple leaf with Canada on there.
Yeah, that's great, but that's not their jersey.
No,
right?
I know. No, it's not. But
the old Canada Cup.
If the old Canada Cup, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Or, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's exactly it. So, Doug, what'd you think about the Team USA ones? I don't really care. I think they look all right. They're right here.
They're tight.
I think they're all right. I mean, they stay with their red, white, and blue.
That kind of looks like the Miracle, right? With the lettering across like that?
Yeah, they had the bigger ones that went this way on the Miracle, I believe. No, you're right.
They're the Miracle on ice, yeah.
Yeah, it's right here. Right there. That's the ones you're talking about.
Yeah, so I you know what? Hats off. I think the US, yeah, I think the US look good. And they're already up 1-0 on us.
They got a one-stroke advantage just on the
They got a one-stroke
because they just stay with the red, white, and blue. We throw black in there. There's no black on our flag.
Yeah.
We're red and white.
I agree.
I don't know. But Uppy, COVID's starting to run wild a little bit again in the NHL. I mean, everywhere. We don't have to get into that. But do you think they're going to go? Do you think it's worth these guys to get over there? I think in a perfect world, if everything went the way they thought it was, they had no problem with it. But I heard one guy, a comment from a guy, a source not to be named, but he said some of the players that are supposed to go are chatting. Like, imagine going to Russia and testing positive and then having to stay, in China for 3 weeks, lockdown or whatever. I don't know. Like, imagine that. Like going over there and having to quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be locked down. I don't think their experience in this Olympics is going to be what, Salt Lake was, Vancouver was, Russia, Sochi was. I think it's great that they have a chance to play in the Olympics for their country, but this whole experience over there is going to be a shit show.
Right?
I can't imagine it being fun at all.
Like, if you're a young guy like McDavid and McKinnon, you're going to get another opportunity. Sid, you've already done it. You fucking scored the golden goal. I'd have to go through the guys that are going to be on the team. McCarr, you're going to get another chance. I just don't know if it's really worth it this year. Like,
Should we start lacing them up or what?
Play a World Cup this summer. A World Cup in August.
For the gold medal.
For the fucking gold medal. One guy tweeted out on, I don't know who it was. He's like, why don't they just play the Olympic hockey tournament in Florida? Hey,
totally.
Good Red State player down there. I don't know. I think the league, I don't know. I would.
So what are they going to do though if they don't go? Are they bringing guys from Europe?
I don't know what they'll do.
Might have to reach out to Donor.
I don't know what they'll do.
Getting that Spangy.
Well, we got some Spangy news coming up that might give you an opportunity. So, if it does happen, listen, I'll be tuned in to watch it as a fan. McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby on the same team. I just think for the league, it's something I know they're thinking about it. So, speaking of McDavid, we know how good he is. We talk about him every week, and you just forget that he gets points every game, right?
Yeah.
Which is obviously a point streak. So he didn't get one the other night in Dallas. It was his 25-game point streak ended. It's not even talked about. He's so good.
That's crazy.
He's so good that people don't even talk about a point streak because he gets points every fucking single night. They talk about when it ends. Right? Like Troy Terry, 50-game point streak. McDavid was on a fucking 25-gamer and not a word because...
Just expectations.
Expectations. And then his buddy, they went pointless for the first time since you looked it up.
2017. The first time the Edmonton Oilers have not got a point from either Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl is nuts.
It's nuts.
The game's just too damn easy for these guys.
Draisaitl's got 20 and 20. 20 goals in 20 games. Is he the Hart Trophy winner right now?
No.
Or is it Ovechkin? Or is it Connor?
I think it's Connor right now.
Still?
Yeah. Yeah. Long year, too.
Yeah.
These guys are too fucking good.
Alex Ovechkin,
Ovechkin,
what if Draisaitl gets 50 and 50? 50 goals in 50 games. Who's the last one to do that? Mario or somebody? I don't even know. Wayner? No.
Wayner got 50 and 37.
50, yeah. 5 in one night to do it. It's the Flyers. Suck at Flowers.
He felt it that night, huh?
I think he texted his dad. No text. There's no texting back then. I think he called Walter and said, Walt, I'm going to have a night.
Well, meet me at the bar.
Well, I'm going to have a fucking night here. I'm getting 50. I'm getting 5 tonight. Imagine go to the bar and say I'm getting 5.
Fucking right.
I don't know. I was just like, I want to get a plus tonight.
So
I'd like to come out of this game +1 if I could.
So these guys are just too good. And what's your boy Cooley thought McDavid would get 150 points?
I said he'd get over 150 points.
You did?
Yeah.
He
agreed with me.
Oh, that was when we did our preseason kind of yes or no's.
Yeah.
I said no. What's he got?
Hold on. I'm looking up 50 goals in 50 games here. Mario Lemieux, 88-89. Halsey in 91-92 did it, 50 and 50. Hawley's the last one to do it, I think. 91-92, 50.
What did Ovechkin had to been close?
Yeah.
He probably got 50 and 58.
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, who knows?
Lemieux did 50 goals in 46 games in 88-89. Wayner did 50 and 39. Then he did 50 and 42. And then he did 50 and 49 games. How are you?
3 in a row.
3 in a row. Points. Draisaitl's got 40. Ovechkin 37. Connor 36. And they're at the quarter mark. We have 3 quarters.
That's 160. Good for him.
I mean what Draisaitl's doing is insane.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's a beast.
He's just so powerful and so just beyond thinks the game better than everyone too.
I think he looks like Datsuk out there. And when you said that, there were some people on our Twitter feed that didn't agree with that. But if you look at the way he skates, the way he does his skates is like Datsuk. His stick looks like Datsuk.
The way his shin pads are, his bigger pants, like
he's always in the right position like Datsuk.
He keeps pucks on his backhand. He waits for you to come hit him, and he hits you and just leaves.
He's a more. I'm gonna maybe take some.
He's
back.
more.
He's a more complete player than Connor, I think.
Yeah, he
takes more face-offs. He kills more penalties. He plays every situation. But Connor's the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
My boy McKinnon's coming back healthy, playing tomorrow night, Wednesday night against the Leafs. Come on, Nate Dogg. You're not going to win the heart on me, but the Avs are
Shout out to the boys on Altitude TV, though, by the way.
Kiefer. They're awesome. Johnny Michael Alves is getting pinned.
They threw out, I tweeted the other night when our boy Landy just pumped that Ekholm. He pumped him, and it was such a good play. It was a good hockey play.
What was Ekholm thinking? Like, drop your fucking gloves. You're ragdolling Ratton, and you don't think anyone's going to come in?
Yeah, first of all, you get shots in on Landeskog when he falls into the goalie. And yes, I agree. You know, you got to be in control going into the goalie like that. But then you got a chance to take licks on Ratton, and then, you know, Landy steps up and sees you doing what you're doing, and he doesn't like it, and he pumps you.
Pumps him.
And then you're complaining to the ref that you didn't get whatever.
You
didn't get your gloves off, and I get it. You weren't the first guy to drop your gloves.
Little Swedish on Swedish hate crime there.
But I ended up saying online, tweeting, and I hadn't tweeted during a game in a while. But I was like, you know what? Be ready for it. You start launching a guy's helmet up the ice, like be ready to fucking throw down, especially with their captain. Yeah, like Mikko Rantanen is one of their best players, if not the best player on their team and in the league. Now, you can't just take licks at that guy. What did he do?
For sure.
And I just loved it. And then the boys in this, you know, in the beginning of the second period, I thought I was fucking high, but I wasn't. I was sitting with my dad and we were watching games.
Were you drunk? All week. Were you half drunk?
Yeah, I was.
Good. That's good to tweet.
But then all of a sudden I'm like, I think they just said my name. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And then my dad's like, what are you talking about? And then, of course, Christina's in the background. I'm like, no, they didn't. I'm like, shh. I rewind it.
Well, you can't hear it because you keep talking, Christina.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they threw a shout out there. They love what I had to say about Landy. And I love Landy. And I love their show that they're doing.
Landy put a picture on his Instagram today of him, McKinnon, and Eric Johnson walking to the bird. And they just got fucking National League style up, dog. And I don't miss the game much, but when I saw that picture, I missed that of like, you know, having a fresh suit on and you're walking on the fucking private bird with the boys and you're heading in on a little road trip. You got a few things lined up each city you're going into, and it's just beautiful. Like, so Landy, keep her humming. McDavid, Draisaitl, that's insane. That we take it for granted that he had a 25-game point streak, and it was just like, he gets a point every night.
Nothing. Give the guy some more respect. Pay him more money, too.
On the other end of the spectrum here, a guy that's keeping the pucks out of the net, one of my former teammates, Chris Russell. Russie, Sole leader in block shots. This is a lot of fucking rubber. Ow. 2,000 block shots. 2,000.
Who did he pass?
Well, Seabrook has 1,998.
Wow.
But Seabsy blocked him a little bit different than Rusty. He would use his stick a little bit more, and Rusty just full on, down on one knee. How are you?
Taking him.
Eating him. And then Keith had 1,925 block shots.
I tell you what,
2,000 block shots to me.
It's a good thing Russell does block shots, because he probably would have been out of the league a couple years ago.
I mean, listen, yeah, I guess
blocking shots is a key component to helping your team win.
I think they should make this rule.
Can't go down on one knee.
Can't go down on one knee as a defenseman.
I
cannot go down on one knee. Sorry, Greg Zanin. I'm making it because of Greg Zanin.
Yeah, exactly.
Greg Zanin. I would like, you know what? We had such a bad year in Colorado, but then we played together in the minors. You know what it's like. Well, actually, you don't know what it's like. But when you go back down as a guy of 10 years or whatever Zanin had too, he played a long time. It's humbling. You go back down there and you just like try to enjoy the game again, because what else can you do? You're back in the fucking junkie, right? You're like, fuck, 10 years later, here I am back in the junkie. And I grew to appreciate, you know, how hard he worked and you know, how much he wanted to win and how good of a guy he was in the room. But saying that, like going down on one knee, like he was one of the first guys that really fucking like, I was like, Z, you could have went over there, stick on puck and kept him to the outside instead of just fucking flopping down a knee and taking a slap shot 102 in the finger. But,
and he'd be just screaming at guys. Just like you could hear him in the nosebleeds from if you got healthy scratched or whatever, and I did a couple times in Nashville. You could hear him just screaming. Like, get him! I got back here, just over here. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. You know what, I thought it was kind of all, in Colorado, to be honest with you, like it was all kind of a show. I'm like, this guy, this is like, you know, this is his thing. But then down in the jungle, he was the same way. And that's when I kind of grew to appreciate him as a teammate. He was our captain down there. Yeah, blocking shots up here. Maybe I should have done it more. Chris Russell, congratulations, buddy. 2,000 biskies. Get the guy an ice bag.
Yeah, that
deserves
a watch, though, from the boys. Something. Your goaltenders be buying
Give him lifetime fucking...
Smitty, buy him, yeah.
Give him lifetime insurance when he retires, because he's going to need it after 2,000 block shots. He's going to be fucking hurt.
A tugger. He needs it.
Yeah, you just want to have it probably.
Right? For sure.
Up, dog. Listen, I complain about hockey a lot, about softness, and it's tough to watch some nights. This line, my friend, is not hard to watch. For anyone out there, if you're looking to watch some hockey, the fourth line of the Calgary Flames, Brad Richardson, Trevor Lewis, and Milan Lucic. I mean, Uppy, there's beautiful. No secret. They're three Stanley Cup winning guys that have some chemistry, obviously, that know each other, that compete. They play hard. I mean, Richardson last night, I mean, I took a video of him winning a faceoff. You know, the guy's been in the league for fucking, 13 years. It's like it was his first and last faceoff he's ever going to take.
Yeah.
I mean, what they're doing is it's fun to watch. Every time Luch gets the puck at the Saladome, they yell out, Luch. Every time he touches him. They love him.
Yeah.
And you had a great fourth line in St. Louis when you guys had some success. The Islanders have had a great fourth line. My point being to these GMs out there, it's no secret. Have a good veteran fourth line that fucking mucks it up and competes.
Yeah, you need a veteran coach. You need a veteran GM.
Yeah.
And you need to know that these guys, you just don't have to say anything to these guys ever. You just know what they do. They've been there. They've all won. They look at each other and they know they got to go compete because they compete for each other. If you give them, this is the only thing with having a veteran fourth line is they're not dumb.
Yeah.
They're smart.
And you can trust them
late in the game. So if you're fucking acting dumb as a coach or you're acting dumb as whatever, they're going to know, and it's going to rub off on them. Now, if you send them out there and they're doing their job and their team feeds off their energy, you got to reward these guys. And they are rewarding them. Big goal by Luch last night in a 1-1 game.
Buddy, they have him out there in the last fucking minute of the game.
See, that sort of thing goes so long. And the team, they all need to know. Guys like Tkachuk, they understand that these guys are heartbeats. We need them we need them like knowing that they're respected and loved in our group. So if I was a young kid, if I'm Goudreau, or I'm telling the coach, not that they have to because it's Sutter, I'm telling the coach, get these guys out more. They need to continue to feel fucking the mojo because they're better for it. To me, that's huge.
It's huge. And they got a good thing going in Cowtown. At the start of the year, I was chirping them. That's mainly because Richie was hurt at the start of the year. Like once the 1-5er got back in the lineup, I had to cheer for them. I'm all in. I'm loving them. They're fucking great. I mean, the Saddle Dome was rocking last night against the Penguins. It was a great hockey game to watch. Yeah. They're wearing the old school Flames jersey. Another thing about my time in Calgary, we wore those old shitty jerseys with the Canadian flag on the one shoulder and the province of Alberta flag on the other one. I'm like, this is not.
Pick one.
The only thing I looked forward to that whole year was we were going to wear the jerseys they're wearing now on retro night. And fucking Hartley put me on waivers a week before. So I didn't even get to wear the retro. I'm like, at least I got a good picture in the retro jersey, put it in my house when I'm retired. Abbotsford, here I come.
Give me my jersey.
Oh, give me my fucking jersey or my gloves or something.
Took me jersey, bud.
Richie, Louie, Luch, fuck, you guys are going. Keep it going. Up dog, I sent a little tweet the other night, last week, watching them. I'm like, this line needs a nickname.
Yeah, what's your name?
So we got some funny ones from some fans. Craig McDonald says the Cowtown Kings. Dominique Didia, our girl, she wants to be called the former Kings. And then there was one, I don't have the name, they call him the Stampede Line, which is not bad. I'm going to call them, I don't know if it's going to stick. I'm not the most creative guy out here, but I watched them all out there and I just figured how old they were. Why don't we call them the Pension Line, right? They're all going to have a nice pension. They're all fucking old, playing well together. The Pension Line. I don't know. They have some, because the fourth line in New York Islanders is called what? The Identity Line?
Yeah.
This fourth line is just as good as them. We need a nickname for them. Calgary fans.
How about the Century Line?
Century.
Add up their ages, they're over 100.
Wow. Are they? Yeah.
They might be taking my nickname though, because we had that in.
Were you guys the Century Line?
Louis. We're the Century Line. Me, Otter, and Brodziak.
They need a nickname. This line.
How old are these fuckers?
The mix in the water line.
Beers on the bus line.
The IV line.
Yeah.
These boys need an IV after every game.
The Z-Pack line.
Richie, if you're listening out there, I text you. Keep her going, fella. You make the game fun to watch. I mean,
know, I miss.
He is just digging out there. Watching him take a face off.
It's the greatest.
I mean, Richie, I love you. Keep her going. Up dog, the Lightning. They're banged up. Kucherov out indefinite, 0.6 weeks. Joseph day-to-day. Chernik day-to-day. You look at the Atlantic Division here. Let's go to here. It's the fucking toilet bowl division. Right? You got Buffalo, Montreal, Ottawa. They stink. Boston's starting to come. Detroit's going to... My question is, they're not in trouble, right? As long as you got 88 and 77 and you're in this division, like, their only real concern about catching them is Boston. And right now, Tampa's got 27 points. The Bees got 22 with 2 games in hand. The rest of that division, they're not going to catch them no matter how many injuries they have. So they're fine as long as they got 88 and 77, right? And 91.
Yeah. Well, Ottawa stinks. Canadians stink. Bruins have been stinking. And the Sabres are terrible. Yeah, so these guys, Toronto's buzzing. Tampa, I mean, you got Vasilevsky. You're gonna be in every game.
Yeah.
This gives actually just more. I'm sure John Cooper looks at this too and says, like, you know what? This is just a chance for my younger guys, the guys that haven't been part of the championship, to come up, play, get a feel for, this group. And good teams, man. Good teams, when you look back on great years, you don't just have 23, 24 guys play, every night.
Yep.
You have guys step up. You have minor league guys come in. You got a guy from the coast come in and fucking kick the puck as a fourth string goalie sometimes. Like, it's a big group, and this is a chance for everyone to step up. I think it's good team building.
Yeah, and I think, Corey Perry showed the Pears, got his first couple of the year. He's got a little more ice time.
Did he win snipe the one time?
Old school Pears. Wrister, fucking cheddar. The Big Reg's got 4. Listen, Uppy, they're going to hang in this division, and listen, Point's played a lot of hockey. He's going to get healthy. Kucherov, I'm sure he'll come back come playoff time. I'm just saying it could be a blessing in disguise for these guys right now that they're banged up. They're going to continue to hum. They're in a weaker division, so I don't think they have to worry about anyone but Boston. And when you got 88, that's all that matters. So,
hey, while on this division, let's touch on this. Boston. We watched the game the other night. Like, they're playing good. They're, I don't think they're getting, the best from all their guys. Rumors today, Jake DeBrusk demanded a trade.
I like that kid's game.
I like him too. I think he's been kind of underplayed, underutilized. Like, what is it that he doesn't do that doesn't get him like top 6, top 9 minutes? Because he's barely cracking the lineup here.
I know.
You got Foligno playing over him. You got a lot of guys that, a couple years ago, this guy was heart and soul of this team. Brought him to the finals. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
17 games, 6 points, Obes.
I bet you if you got fucking Travis Green on the phone right now and said, Greener, do you want Jake DeBrusk on your team? I guarantee you'd say yeah. Because Jake DeBrusk would be a great fit in Vancouver. They need somebody like that plays in straight lines and finishes their checks and takes pucks to the net.
Plays like JT Miller.
Yes. Now, he's only got 3 goals, but I don't think he's going to be, you know, is he a 20 goal scorer?
Fucking A. He had 6. Fuck, look at this. He's got great stats. 70 games as a rookie at 43 points.
So he scored 27 in 2018, 2019.
This kid just is, you know what it is?
Wow,
it's get me the fuck out of here time. He's basically like, guys, it's over. Bruce Cassidy doesn't like me. Yeah. You know, the city just isn't my vibe anymore. See what you can get. Let's make a move, you know. Sometimes you're paying Vancouver. Jack Hughes 64 bananas for what he's done. Get this kid out and get something for him.
I'll make a fucking trade right now. Let's go to Vancouver's roster. I'll make a trade right now here at fucking Hall Pass Media.
Would Edmonton want him?
Edmonton does want him.
But who do you give up?
Edmonton wants him.
Draft picks.
Edmonton wants him.
And his old man's there just humming on the color commentating. It'd be perfect.
Look at this. I'll give you Tanner Pearson for fucking Jake DeBrusk right now if you want. I'll give you... You can throw Chase on in there too. Dickinson, you can have him. Dowling, you can have him too. Pullman, you can have him.
Wait, Dowling plays on Vancouver?
Yeah, he does. He's been hurt. He's actually a guy, you know, who Vancouver could use in their lineup.
Yeah,
plays
he
with
works
a little bit
100%. He works hard.
But what about DeBrusk for Pearson? I mean, and you throw, I don't know, Chase on in there maybe or something. I don't know. I mean, I just think DeBrusk, I've always liked him, Uppy.
Time to get him out west.
I agree with you, and you know,
time to get him out west.
Like we were suitcases, but sometimes when you go to a new place, it's all you need. Yep. Fresh start. You know, speaking of fresh starts, Bergie's looking for a fresh start somewhere. Our boy Mark Bergie, man, who threw the boys under the bus one time in Montreal. It's okay, Bergie. We still love you, buddy. You're a beauty. Uppy, they let him go. They bring in Jeff Gorton, who I actually saw at Broadway's funeral.
Yeah,
got to talk to him a little bit. Listen, he turned the Rangers around. Look at the Rangers now, right? He got piped last year for all that nonsense that went on with, we don't know exactly what went on with the ownership and them after the brawl with Washington. And do you like this fit? And then obviously they need a French-speaking Canadian. So there's some candidates, Roberto Luongo, Pierre Maguire, Daniel Briere, one of your ex-teammates. I don't think Patrick Waugh is probably going to be the guy. But what do you think about this? And I mean, if you take, Loop said this to us the other day at Wild Goose, and I actually mentioned it on Monday. If you take the number 1 goalie and the top defenseman off of any team in the NHL, they're going to feel the squeeze, right? 100%. You take Hedman and Vasilevsky off of Tampa, they're going to be probably hurting a bit. So I don't know if Montreal, they were never as good as the run to the Stanley Cup Finals, but I don't know if they're as bad as they're playing right now. The record right now up is 6-16-2. What's your feeling with Jeff Gorton and maybe who they could bring in as a GM? Because he's got to be able to speak French.
Yeah, to me, you know, Montreal, they made the finals last year because they had goaltending and they just ran fire. They just got hot.
Lightning in a bottle.
They got hot at the right time. Man, what a buzz in the city. And then just, you know, call it what it is. They're just not a great team. They're not built well. I think we've seen the writing on the wall. This is time for Bergeron to move on. To me, Jeff Gorton seems like a guy coming into a big market from New York. He knows a lot of the younger players. He's seen this team, from ground up, been around the league forever. To me, and I seen this guy 2 weeks ago. In fact, I beat him, Lupul and I in Hartnell. We played against him, Simone Gagne, and it was pretty much Brashear on his line the whole time. But Danny Briere, to me, is a candidate, speaks French. Always wanted to play for the Montreal Canadiens, but we snagged him a free agency in Philadelphia. He's from Gatineau. He's been running the Maine Mariners of the East Coast League team. Basically, bought the team, got it up and running. Turned a little ship around. So listen, he understands it. He's an up and coming executive that has had an incredible career, knows the game well, is well respected, I think, amongst the league and all GMs. And to me, it's just the turning of the tide. Yeah. It's time to get some young, fresh guys in there to make decisions, some hockey executive decisions. And, for me, I don't think it would be a big leap for him. I think he's ready for the job. And he's a very well-spoken guy, well-liked. Better to go in as a GM almost than as a player for a French guy. Right? I think you get a little more, if you have a couple bad games as the GM, It's like, I get to fire the coach.
You can hide up in the press box.
Totally.
And fuck, I don't want to talk to the media today.
As a player,
they boo you right off the ice.
They boo you right off the ice.
Ask Gomer.
So to me, Danny, I hope you're ready for the job. And if it falls in your lap, I know you do a great job.
I would like to see Roberto Luongo. I don't think you're going to get Lou out of South Florida. I think Lou I think he's going to be a GM someday. I think he'd be a great fit. And then I'm going to say Pierre Maguire. As much as I give Pierre a hard time on NHL NBC, listen, he worked hard. He wasn't I didn't like the way he did the color. It is what it is. But I do know this from, talking to Pierre throughout my, playing days when he did our games and when I would bump into him in the offseason. He knows the league. He knows I think he has a relationship with Jeff Gorton. Obviously, he speaks French. He was in the mix before Bergeron got the GM job. He was in the mix for that job. So I think Pierre, if they want to go with a veteran guy, wouldn't be bad. But if I had to vote, I would say Bobby Lou. But I just don't know if you're going to get Bobby out of South Florida. So Bergie, we forgive Bergie, right? We forgive him for,
He better buy us dinner, though.
Yeah, Bergie, come on out to California, buy us dinner. We forgive you for throwing us under the bus in Montreal.
You don't do that to guys.
We were just trying to have a time in the city.
You don't do that to guy.
We were just trying to have a time.
I bet you I'd like to just sit and have a beer with him and actually just be like.
I used to see Bergie when he was working.
Were you just trying to poke the bear at Dale Talon?
I think it's because we had that fucking Pronto with us who was on his team.
Yeah, but he went home early.
We still beat them.
Yeah, we still beat them.
I used to see Bergie in Vancouver all the time when he was working for the Hawks. Anytime they came in to play us throughout the playoffs, I went out for dinner, he would be out enjoying the finer things of Vancouver. So,
I know.
So
Bergie, come on.
Keep your head
National
up.
League here.
It's just crazy how quick the NHL works. Like, it feels like yesterday he was going to the Stanley Cup Finals with that red suit on, with his hair flowing, and now he's out of a job. That's how quick, as a player, management, coach, it can fucking change in that league up, dog.
Yeah, well, you're still getting paid, so enjoy it. Enjoy it would be my message to everyone.
Speaking of some things haven't changed in this fucking league, is Evander Kane. Your boy Evander.
Are we still talking about this guy?
Your boy Evander Kane. He's on waivers.
I don't care how much salary they want to eat. If a team picks him up, they're nuts.
I agree. They're talking Vancouver because Vancouver's in shambles.
And I never played with the guy, but I know the guy enough that he's an idiot.
Well, there's one ex-teammate of mine where he doesn't need a name, but he's one of the best guys ever and a great guy. And he said he didn't fit in the dressing room that he was in with him. So if that's the case, then I'm big on dressing room. I don't know Evander Kane from a hole in the wall. I battled against him. I hated playing against him. I think he's made a lot of mistakes. If I was a GM, I wouldn't touch him because dressing room is so important to me.
Yeah,
and I don't know if you can trust this guy to bring him in and fucking not fuck everything up.
So he's got 3 years left. I think
no one's touched him at 7 bananas.
No, I know, but will he forfeit his deal and sign to stay in the league? Would he sign like a 1-year deal?
I think he's hoping they buy him out, and then he can sign 1 year $750 or $1 million.
Yeah. Well, that's his best bet. And is he old enough to get the 2/3 of his salary, or is it 1/3?
No, I think it's probably 2/3.
Is he 30? I think you got to be over 30.
Do you?
I think so.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Thank God I was over 30 when I got bought out then, eh?
I think if you're under 30 years old, it's 1/3 of your salary. We need to look that up.
I got it right here. Look at this. Bum, 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 bum. He's 30 right on the button. August 2nd, Vancouver, Ontario. He's making 6 bananas. Anyways, enough of him. I wouldn't pick him up. Greener, I know you're in trouble, but I don't know if that's the answer. Up dog, I know how much the Spangler means to you, buddy. You went out on your shield. You won the fucking thing. Spangy. You drove the Zamboni drunk around Switzerland. Here it is. You might have another crack at playing. General manager Shane
Donor. Love it.
Claude Julien, head coach. Bruce Boudreau, and Scott Walker.
I play with Walks.
I know you did.
You
played with half of the fucking management there.
Fuck, he was hard on me as a kid.
Send them the clip from the alumni game. They might sign you.
Yeah, totally. Well, not just that. I mean, the Flyer alumni.
That's
I was going down blocking shots. I was playing D too. If you need an extra
Holmgren's
D.
like, I wish Uppy would have put. No, you played the right way. I can't chirp about that. You were a fucking great fucking Flyer.
I wish you played like this.
I wish you played this hard when I had him for fucking.
No, that's why he put me back on D. He fucking knew I was going.
So good luck. I always wanted to play in the Spangy. I
think this is an incredible staff. I really do.
Great staff.
Bruce Boudreau, I love listening to that guy. Even when he's on his show, he loves hanging. He loves
great.
Shooting it with you. I love that. Claude Julien, never had him. Heard lots about him, but his reputation speaks for itself. And then Donor. I mean,
What a
Doan is
guy.
just a good guy.
Great guy.
He's a great guy. And
has anyone ever said anything bad about Shane Doan? Besides, he's fucking hard to play against.
Yeah.
He was strong and he could fight, and like he wouldn't swear at you, but he would look at you like, "I'll kill you." Like,
no, he's one of the most competitive guys.
Wow.
I think this guy stepped away from hockey when he was done, just because it was for him. You know, it was a lot. Spent some time with his kids. He's got great kids, great family. I think now he's starting to get the itch to be involved and to win.
Yeah.
I think as a player, man, when you don't win that Stanley Cup, you kind of always like, there's something inside you that wants you to be around like winning and championships. And I mean, I think that just speaks for all of us as competitors. But
yeah,
this guy in general has such a competitive fire, man.
I don't look back on my career a whole lot because, listen, I was lucky to play as long as I did. But when I got traded from Anaheim and they went on to win it, it's still, when I think about it, when I bump into guys or I see guys, I'm like, fuck, that would have been nice, eh? Yeah, like I was 2 days away from.
Imagine just the change in career trajectory after winning a cup.
I know,
and just the summer.
They always would. They would have just said, he's a bit of a booze bag, but he's got a Stanley Cup ring, right? And then at the end of my career, it was just he's a bit of a booze bag. So the Stanley Cup ring would have gave me a couple more,
at least,
because you can always have you can never have too many Stanley Cup winners in your room, right?
No, you
Even
hear that from the moment you step in an NHL dressing room, you're witnessing it firsthand. Like all of a sudden you don't have any winners in your room and they just trade for like Brent Gilchrist. And you're like, is this guy still playing? Gilly? He's like, what's up, boys? We're bringing you in because you got a cup.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
For sure.
It so happens, true. And it's great. It's good that's why winning is everything.
It's the best. I mean, fucking
Brent Gilchrist.
Berkey, I love you, but why?
Brent Gilchrist with a cup.
I don't know who is it. Brent Gilchrist.
You don't know?
Isn't he a guy?
Fuck, this is great. I think he won one in Dallas. Fuck.
I was gonna think of like a guy like Ian Moran, as an old defenseman that won one, didn't he? And somewhere or something. I don't know, but I know what you're saying. It's a feather in your cap for
Brent Gilchrist. So. He won a Stanley Cup with the G. I knew he did because we fucking brought him. We brought him in after that to Nashville.
Let me see him.
Took my spot too. Look at this old guy.
Oh yeah.
He wore a big old welding shield for a mask.
What a beauty.
Like there's some
they love the veteran guys.
They love it.
I remember my second year in the American League, I was about to head to training camp and I'm like, fuck, they only have 6 defensemen on one ways. Like I gotta, like there's a spot, maybe, between me and Romer and Popovic, but there's a spot. Literally 2 days before I'm about to fly to training camp. So a week and a half before training camp, they signed Jason Marshall to a 1 year, I'm like, fuck. Now there's no spots, right? Because that's why they brought him in, because they wanted veteran guys with experience. And to the boys in the Spangler, good luck. Represent Uppy well there.
Such a good time. Families, go. Don't hum and haw about going to the Spangler Cup. Just go. If your fucking son or your boyfriend or your brother invites you,
or your girlfriend on the side,
damn Spangler Cup, you go. It's awesome. Such a good time.
That segment was brought to you by our good friends at GoodLife National League. Their stuff's National League up dog. Gotta love those guys at GoodLife. Our next segment is brought to you by Oura Rings. It's just suspension fines and hits.
I got mine
suspension fines and hits presented to you by Oura Rings.
Generation 3 Oura Ring. Get yours now.
It's a great Christmas present. Updog Panarin, the bread man, fined $5,000 for throwing his glove at Marchand's big nose. He clipped him too. He got him. His quote after was, "Thanks to the old GM and $11.5 million, $5,000 ain't gonna hurt me." So I agree with him, and I'm all for throwing a glove at Brad Marchand. I mean, that guy, you love to have him on your team, but. And speaking of Marchand Uppy, he got a 3-game suspension for a slew foot. Do you have his rap sheet handy there? What he's.
I sure do.
Because when I saw it, I thought, okay, they're going to give him a game. And then I forgot, fuck, it's Brad Marchand. This guy's, got a pretty good history, but I did not know how big of a rap sheet he had. So that's why I think they dinged him 3 for that slew foot. And while we're on slew foots, Uppy, I don't think there's any room in the game for him to begin with. Like sometimes if your foot gets caught in there or whatever, but this was a full-on slew foot. So
that's how guys get hurt, Obes.
Yeah, 3 games.
Yeah, his rap sheet's pretty impressive. He's got 6 suspensions, and he's clipped them all. I'm talking elbowing, low bridge. That's actually hilarious. Low bridge on Sammy Salo. There's a photo of Sammy Salo's feet almost going over the glass.
Poor Sammy Salo.
2 games slew footing, Derek Brassard, so he backed up that. 3 games for clipping, Mark Barowicki. Fines. I mean, he's got a bunch of fines. He's got already fines for slew footing, roughing, Gabriel Landeskog, tripping, two games for spearing.
Yeah, he's got like
elbowing. So this guy, I mean, plays on edge. You got to love the way he is. He's a competitor. He's a champ. He loves to engage.
I would love to have him on my team.
At least he's not licking guys.
Well, now if you licked a guy during COVID, they'd probably throw you right out of the fucking league, wouldn't they?
Yeah, totally. Good luck getting in Canada if you're licking a guy.
You can't lick a guy during COVID. That's like fucking 20 gamer nowadays. I can't
He
believe
was going around licking guys.
Would you ever think of? I don't know if I ever got.
I'd be licking. Yeah, I wouldn't be licking.
You were licking some stuff, but it wasn't an opposing team, was it? Listen, I'd love to have him on my squad.
Yep.
You hate to play against him, but with that rap sheet, 3 games doesn't surprise me. Next,
licking lollipops.
Our boy Brandon Lemieux, meat. We've known him for a long time. He bit Brady Tkachuk. Yeah, he bit him. He bit him. What do you think of that? I don't know what to
Guess
think.
who I got a call from today?
Who'd you get a call from?
Scotty Gomez.
Gomer.
I see he's there. I got a story for you.
About me putting my fingers in his mouth?
He goes, fuck. We're in the playoffs and Obi fucking's got his finger in my mouth and I fucking bit it.
Yeah.
I go, fuck you. Don't put my finger in your mouth. Like, don't put your finger in my mouth. I'll fucking bite it. And you're like, yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah, I know. I told the story to Cools yesterday. He's like, you ever bite anyone? I go, I never bit anyone, but playoffs against Jersey, I stuck my fucking fish hook Gomer in the mouth. He bit my finger. So I go to the ref. I'm like, he fucking bit my finger. And the ref goes, well, what were you doing? I go, I was fish hooking him. He goes, well, it's probably even Steven. Hey, I'm like, yeah, good point. But yeah, totally. Gomer bit me.
And he's like, and from then on, I think me and Obi were tight.
We were.
Yeah,
we
he's
were.
Like, and that's all it takes is just a good fish hook for a bite, and then you're good.
And then Brad Lukowicz took me over to his house when I was playing with Tampa, and Gomer was in Montreal, so he couldn't leave, so we went over and puffed a couple bowls with them and hung out with them and went for dinner with them, and that's where we became really good buddies. Gomer bit my finger.
So I think this situation is idiotic. It's dumb. It's being I
want to stick up for meat.
It's being talked about the way it should be. Like I mean, the palm. Well, what's the guy doing with your palm? Like, how do you even bite that?
I don't know, but if the linesmen stay the fuck out of it. All right, the linesman gets in there, they get all tangled up. They're not on the fucking ice. Just stay out of it, Liney. Let them go. Brady Tkachuk's tough. Meets, if he wants to fight him, fight him. Now they go down. Brady's on the bottom. He's got his hand up like that. Like if it was the other way around, if Lemieux would have been on the bottom and Brady was on top of him, then I don't know. It's tough to think you're gonna chomp. Yeah.
Right.
It's tough.
Like and I don't know. Like. Picture a guy like putting his palm like into your like upper lip and like trying to like smash your skull down. Like maybe that's what was going on. It's hard. I don't know. The video doesn't show complete evidence, but the teeth marks do.
And I'm gonna say this. Jonathan Quick stuck up for Meat Lemieux.
Yep.
And I got a soft spot for Brandon Lemieux. Listen, he skated with us back in the day. He was full of fucking piss and vinegar. Did he talk too much in the room sometimes? Yeah, we'd be like, shut up, Meat. But he plays the game the right way. He sticks up for his teammates. He made a mistake. Obviously, I think besides the biting, this is what hockey needs more of. Players chirping players.
Barbaric.
Well, just players chirping players, right?
Yeah.
Brady Tkachuk chirping fucking Brandon Lemieux. Jonathan Quick getting in there chirping Brady Tkachuk. Bring it on. I love this stuff as fans.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want biting in the game, but I want guys getting pissed off and telling me, like, fuck you, Upshaw, you fucking, stuff like that. Like, I think that's good for the game. But...
No, it's you're exactly right. It'll create wars. It'll create like heroes and villains. It's just unfortunate it has to be around, biting. But it's tough. I mean, now in COVID, you're biting
leave
guys.
the biting to the bedroom, fella. All right,
Yeah.
do the biting in Hermosa Beach, wherever you're living. There's some girls you can find that probably like that. So that was presented by Oura Rings, baby. Get your Oura Rings up, dog. New Year's is coming. You can really get healthy with it. You can get some sleep. It's good for everything. Jimmy Scoops, Rumor Mill, to our boy Broadway, baby. We miss you. We love you every day, fella. It's not the same without you giving the scoops. But we got some teams that are calling about Bo Horvat and JT Miller. I think JT Miller is going to get traded. Horvat's not going anywhere. I love JT Miller. I just think he will be moved. Chuck Fletcher has his eyes on Vladimir Tarasenko up, dog. Can you see Vladdy maybe leaving St. Louis, or they got a good thing going there? I don't know if that's
Army's careful and methodical. If
he's not going to do anything reckless or reckless isn't the right word, but without thinking it through.
Vladdy's been playing like young Vladdy, like a very hungry and eager Vladdy. So unless you're getting great pieces that help you right now, because they're in win now mode, and they have been. They got the goaltending, they got the D, they got offensive power. They're scoring at will. Rob Thomas has proven me wrong. He's been insane.
Kyrou is buzzing.
Kyrou's great.
Buzzing.
Yeah, so they're two younger players really stepping up and taking on like the top guy role.
For sure.
And that's a sign of you keeping a guy like Vladdy. Because Vladdy, no matter what happens, if he stays like this, he's scoring big goals. I mean, he's got 7 goals, all coming in like the third period, 2 to tie the game, a couple game winners. I mean, he's gaming right now, and you can't trade that away.
And the Flyers, man, listen, they're 8-8, 20 points. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe time for a new coach. I'm not sure. Hurricanes rumored to be looking at John Klingberg from the Dallas Stars. If they had Klingberg to that back end, look out. And then our boy Jake DeBrusk is rumored out of Boston, which we talked about. So Jimmy Scoop's rumor mill up, dog. It's not the same without him, but we're gonna keep it going and honor him. But Broadway, we miss you every single day, fella. Up, dog. DraftKings top titty, buddy. I'm looking for your name here on the. I'm looking for your name here on the sheet, and I don't see you.
It was Friday.
It was Black Friday, wasn't it? Were you shopping? Were you getting?
I
know you
online,
like a good deal. Were you shopping?
I was doing a lot of online shopping this weekend. Yeah.
Were you putting the lights up? Your house is fucking great. You're gonna win best.
The house.
Lights
I won
again.
Rookie of the Year last year.
Well, you're gonna win MVP.
I added.
Because I could see it from the PCH when I turned on.
I added a reindeer.
Reindeers are always a nice touch.
Yeah, because I had the Santa and a sleigh, so I added a reindeer. He glows and shines. He's big red nose.
Is Santa still up there?
Santa's on the chimney.
Fucking
I mean, it looks fucking.
Watch out for Santa coming down the chimney.
Yeah.
Take a run at your old lady. Princey, 30th. Oh, fucking up, dog. I was 65th. I mean, listen, Barzal didn't play. He had COVID, but I'm cold. I got to do some more research, maybe. Shout out to the winner, up, dog. Lutzer 44, 126 points. He had Stammer, Tage Thompson. That guy's like 6, whatever.
He's a monster.
Olofsson, Killhorn, Bunting, who's playing great for the Leafs. Cal McCarr, Ulrich Larson, buzzing like muzzin, and then the goalie from Columbus. Elvis, help me out with his last name, up, dog.
Mazurkins.
There you go. He's kicking. So congratulations, Lutzer 44. Up, dog. We got a chance to bounce back like every Friday. This week we got the Sharks at Rangers, Devils at the Jets, Golden Knights, Coyotes, Oilers, Kraken, and Brad Richardson and the Calgary Flames at the Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, are we taking that in?
Friday night?
No.
I'll tell you. Maybe we'll tell them to text us after the game, though.
Yeah.
Hey,
totally.
Richie, what are you doing after the game, bud? I'm going to go heavy Oilers. Heavy Oilers. And then I'm probably going to jump on...
As you should.
I'm going to probably jump on the New York Rangers as well. That's probably 2 teams I'm going to really focus on. But don't go by me. I finished fucking 65th.
I think this Golden Knights Coyotes game is going to be a shootout.
Could very well be. The Coyotes beat the Jets last night 1-0 in Winnipeg.
What was the line on that? Plus 350?
Yeah. Monstrous.
Coyotes are on a back-to-back tonight. They're in Minnesota. You remember doing the Winnipeg, Minnesota back-to-backers?
Do I?
Fuck. Tough hotels.
Fucking
tough weather.
The St. Paul Hotel in
Worst.
oh my God. The hot water it wasn't even hot.
Bathtubs for the showers, eh? Like, remember those old bars of soap? Yeah. Oh, you couldn't even get that in your taint. What does this do? Hey, like,
is this supposed to work or what?
With that wrapper around it, like the little shampoo bottle.
It's just not natural.
Little lotion to just rub one out with.
Although I did have some fun at that St. Paul Hotel. Sneaky fun. Fun.
That's because everyone in St. Paul knows we're coming in. They got you circled on the calendar, but...
Top Titty Friday night for our listeners. Get involved in that. It's fun. You know, you can take down the boys, chirp us a bit like we know you love to. So also our awesome good friends at DraftKings are everywhere. They're taking over. The Saturday Night Lock, which Uppy has now made into a Survivor. The Up Dog has changed her into a Survivor on the boys mid-shift. Up Dog, you cannot take the Detroit Red Wings. I cannot take the St. Louis Blues and Florida Panthers. So go ahead, fella. You're 3-1. You're leading it. I'm 2-2. Princey's 1-3.
I am going Saturday night Canadians versus the Preds. I'm taking the Preds.
Okay. That's a good pick. I'm taking the Carolina Hurricanes at home against the Buffalo Sabres. Rod the Bod, Buffalo going in there on a Saturday night. I mean, good luck.
That's my lock of the week.
That is.
If someone really wanted to hammer one too, Avalanche at Senators, take the Avs.
Take the Avs. The Avs are buzzing. McKinnon's back. Up dog, I love snapping around with you here. We got a great guest coming at you next.
Big fella. The boys at Cannadips CBD are still at it. They are launching,
Lip boomers.
just absolutely launching tins of cannabis chew all over the USA.
I want to say something about Cannadip lip boomers because I throw them in all the time. I got one in right now. I think we need a Missin Curfew flavor, but that's for another time. I went to the dentist. 6 months I haven't been chewing. I've been chewing fucking lip boomers. The dentist, hygienist, is that what you call her?
Was she hot?
She was a very nice older lady.
Okay.
She said, wow, in the 6 months, your gums have improved tremendously. So CBD, lip boomers, throw them in. And listen, girls don't care if you chew lip boomers because it's not tobacco too. So for you guys out there,
steal them. That's
your
the
girlfriend's all over you, lip boomers.
Throw a couple tins in her stocking. Make
Tell her to
happy.
throw a lip boomer in. CBD, it heals the lip. I love them.
So our friends at CannadipsCBD.com, use the promo code CurfewCali for 20% off your order. Great stocking stuffers for you and the lady.
If anyone's out there wondering what to get me, throw some lip boomer Cannadips in my stocking stuffer, and you're good with me all year long. Optizol.
Jersey Lab,
You got it up there on that National League iPad there. You got the Jersey Lab site up and humming, don't you?
Sure do. Missin Curfew and Jersey Lab. Collaborations for your holiday gift ideas. What better idea than to buy your young kid or your husband or your wife a Missin Curfew jersey.
Missin Curfew tarp.
With whatever name, whatever number you want on the back. We have two different types of jerseys, the home and away. These things would look good under the Christmas tree, or they'd look good on your back walking into a National League game, fella.
I'll tell you what, they look good on your Boxing Day in Canada, just hanging out there watching World Juniors, whatever you're going to be watching. You throw on the Missin Curfew tarp, away you go.
Missin Curfew and Jersey Lab are proud to announce a Jimmy Hayes edition jersey.
Scoopsy.
It's a good-looking tarp, and it has Hayes Broadway. And what better place to come and buy this than the Missin Curfew website, with all proceeds going to Jimmy Hayes, the 11 Fund.
The 11 Fund, baby.
What you can also do while you're on our website is log on right to the 11 Fund and donate this holiday season to a great cause. Our boy Jimmy Hayes and the foundation, the 11 Fund, going to some great charities. We're proud that Jersey Lab, Obes, is our go-to spot for all customized jerseys. So not only if you want the Missin Curfew jersey, but if you want to log on and get your boys a sick set of tarps, so the next time you show up to the rink, you look like National Leaguers, Jersey Lab is your spot. So www.missincurfew.com, order your jersey or hit up Jersey Lab for a team order.
Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Up dog. I mean, she welcomed us into her home. We figured it's only right that we welcome her back into our home. She with open arms. She let us come on her NHL Now show. She had great questions for us. This girl's a pro. She's great for hockey.
Such a delightful guest we have here today.
And she's way better looking than our guest last week, Getzlav, that's for sure. So, Jackie Redmond. Jackie, thank you so much for joining us here at Missin Curfew.
Thanks for having me. I just hope my hair looks better than Getsy's. That's my only goal for this appearance. But I got to tell you, Reader's upset. Reader is upset that I got this invite and he didn't. So I'm just gonna let you guys deal with that.
Dave, we'll bring you on the show, Dave, whenever you want.
Yeah, see, Reader's more of an in-studio guy because he did say he brings beer everywhere he goes. So Reader, if you're ever in California, we'll have you in studio because we know you'll bring a 12-pack with you.
Yeah, and how much did Dave Reed love that episode we did with him? I thought he just had the best time, and I don't see him, I don't see him in person like you do, Jackie, all the time, but he had to have loved that, just shooting it with us, right? Like,
Jackie, now that you can be honest with us, were we any good? We came in, we were a little hungover from New York City. We scrambled into the town car, and we boom, all of a sudden we're on your show. How do we do? Cut us straight.
You know, I think the whole playing guilty thing is legit. I think you guys, as hungover as you might have been, I thought you guys brought some pretty good game. I really think so. Sometimes that brings out the best in you. Like some of my best shows are the shows where I do the least prep because I'm not overthinking everything that I wanted to get in, and then the best stuff happens. So I want to be able to chirp you guys. I'm hoping that will present itself over the course of this interview, but I'll give you guys hype for the appearance. I thought it was good. And you played my game. You went along with it. So
if only our coaches said the same thing about us.
Jackie, if all my coaches said playing guilty was okay, I would have had a way better career, a much longer career, that's for sure. I want to ask you about those because the questions you had, that segment we did for you was amazing. Was that yourself, or do you have someone at NHL that helps you out with that stuff? Because I thought all the stuff you asked us was super cool.
Yeah, I don't want to brag, but it was all me.
Yeah.
That was all me. I obviously run everything by our producer, Jim Sarator. Shout out, Jim.
Jimmy.
Yeah, that's a segment. Like when I have an idea like that, it's something that I'll kind of put together myself, and then I'll pitch it to the producer and be like, do you think this will work? Are you into it? Are these topics okay? And that's kind of how that comes together. But yeah, I love that segment. I used to do it by myself on Instagram. And I just think it's so fun. So I knew you guys would be great to do it with because you guys are always down for a good time.
Well, I speak for our American watchers here because, we get to see you on NHL Now, and it's a great show. And do you miss not being able to broadcast this like to all of our friends back home? Like we're lucky on a podcast that everyone gets to kind of hear it. It goes out there, it gets to Canada, it gets to the US. But as a Canadian girl from London, Ontario, now on an American show, prime time, I mean, everyone tunes in the afternoons to see what, Jackie and her guests are speaking about in hockey-wise. But how's the show been going? And, can you relate to your American listeners a lot, like being a Canadian girl?
Oh my gosh. You know what? Trying to get my dad the ability to watch NHL Now was one of my biggest obstacles year one, because he was like, my girl is hosting a 2-hour hockey show and I can't even watch it. Like, this is the worst. So I had to hook him up, with some secret sauce so that he could actually watch the show in London, Ontario. But, I wish that we were on in Canada, because I think that Canadian hockey fans would love to have a daily show every day that covers the whole league, so that they could see, it's very Canadian based there, which is great. But I think for like real hardcore hockey fans that want to know what Ovi's doing, that want to know what's up with the St. Louis Blues or the Anaheim Ducks, and they want to be introduced to players like Troy Terry and that sort of thing, I think it could be a really great show in Canada. But to your point, like the podcast game is where it's at right now. So if you're online, then you can be seen anywhere. So that's why sometimes my friends from home give me a little crap, because I'm constantly posting segments from the show and they're like, all right, we get it. Like, you're on TV.
You're popular.
And I'm like, I know you guys don't care, but like the people that follow me from Canada, like, might want to see this segment with the boys from Missin Curfew that they didn't get to see. So it's kind of a funny battle that way with like my hometown friends.
Jackie, let's talk about growing up in London, because we know some guys that played in London: Bolin, Corey Perry, Drew Doughty. Like, Drew Doughty has a mansion 2 blocks from the beach, and then the season ends and he's on the first plane back to London, and we're like, well, why the fuck are you leaving? So what was it like growing up there? Do you still get to go back to times? And people that live in London seem to love it.
Listen, don't act so naive. I know you guys have spent time on Richmond Row. Okay?
I mean, I went to Jim Bob's one time. Jim Bob's, right? I went one time.
The fact that you know Jim Bob's just says it all. But yeah,
Jim Bob knows Obi. How about that?
London's a great city, and I miss it dearly. I only get back there now because of everything that's been going on. Actually, I don't think I've been there once in the last 2.5 years, like for a bridal shower. So I only get back at the holidays now, but summers in London are fun because when you get a little bit older, you basically know everybody. And if you don't know everybody directly, you at least know someone that knows someone. So when you go out in London, it's just a big party where everybody knows everybody, and it's a good time. So I love London. It's a big hockey town too. And when I was a kid, like, I talk to girls now who played hockey growing up, and they're always like, yeah, it was like so hard as a kid, and I had to play with boys, or like there was no league. I had to play in the town over. And I'm like, man, in London, where I grew up, there was multiple leagues that girls could play in. And so it's a big hockey town that way too, especially for girls.
You got one? I was just going to ask you, you didn't play hockey growing up, did you?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, you did? Wow. Yes. Okay. All right. I didn't know you did.
I mean, I wasn't that good, but I played. Me and my sister both played growing up. So my sister was actually good. So she played like the highest you could play for girls until she was, 16 or 17. And I played, but I wasn't as good as her. I played on like the B team. So she was better than me. She was younger than me, which made it worse that she was better than me. But yeah, we both played, and I had to travel to all my sister's tournaments as a kid. So I'm very familiar with like mini sticks in the hallways, watching my sister play because she was on the good team, listening to the parents before the game. Should we move Brittany from D to forward? What do you think? Like I was kind of like this like little kid listening to all these hockey parents all the time talk about this team of 12-year-old girls and get so amped and competitive about it. So it's kind of funny that now I spent like my career is talking hockey and having those conversations about the NHL. Because when I was a kid, I was the one listening to like dads fight over who should be on the power play. So that's my childhood.
No, I love the fact that that girls hockey and girls sports in general has taken a life of its own. I have a 13-year-old niece that scored her first goal a couple of weeks ago. I had to put out the video of it and stuff. So that was huge. And random fact, and I don't think I've ever told Obi this, but when I was living in Fort McMurray, I grew up north of Edmonton in Fort McMurray. We went to the Pee Wee Quebec tournament when we were, I went twice, not to brag, but 13 and 12 and 13.
But he's going to brag.
So my first year, and I bet you this might be, somewhat of a record, but we had a girl goalie. Becky Sager was her name. And I played with her for 2 years. She was a basically, standard goalie, left-hand glove blocker. She was our backup goalie, but she got some games in and she was badass. She was a good goalie. So we won the Quebec tournament with a girl goalie. So wow. I'd love to see how hockey has kind of changed and more girls have leagues and that's huge. That's just huge for hockey.
I never knew that. You never told me that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out Becky.
Yeah, good job. Way to kick in there. Way to win I couldn't even get in the Pee Wee tournament, so she's got one on me for sure. Well, we tried to qualify, we couldn't get in. We needed Becky. We needed Becky between the pipes. I forget who my goalie was back then, but Jackie, growing up in Canada, like to get into what you did, was there anyone you kind of looked up to on TSN or Sportsnet, or how did you get like, okay, listen, I want to start talking about sports. Like, how did you get that niche to go to school for it and become so successful at it?
You know what? I don't know if there was one person that I like wanted to be or anything like that. I mean, when I was really young, I was like, I want to be Don Cherry because who didn't? Like everyone wanted to be on Coach's Corner, right?
That's awesome.
But I think for me, like I ended up going to school for journalism and wanting to get into sports because I spent so much of my childhood like shooting the shit with my dad and talking sports with my dad. Like when I was 9, and I wanted to stay up later, like when the Leaf game was over, I was listening to like Toronto sports talk radio call-in shows where people are calling in with questions. And my dad would just talk to me about whatever the caller was calling in about. And we would just talk about it. And I was like 9 or 10 years old. And so by the time I got to high school, not to make this a long-winded, boring story, but I got to high school and my knowledge, at least of the Leafs, was so good. I would get into these like heated debates with the boys in my class to the point that I had a high school teacher that was like, listen, Redmond, if you just shut up for my class, you can talk about the Leaf game for the final 5 minutes. Just please don't talk while I'm teaching the class. And so same thing happened to my sister as well. So I just kind of grew up that way. And when I got to high school and people were like, how do you know so much about the Leafs? Like, what do you know? I kind of like felt like I had a little bit of a niche. And so I just kind of followed it and chased it.
And when did it become real? When do you obviously you live in New York City now or just outside and work just outside, but when did like the show, The Search for Canada's Next Sportscaster, that had to have been pretty crazy, them like following you around and kind of just in on your space and you're in this competition and just break it down of when like, your childhood dream of actually, chirping the boys in class about hockey became a reality to actually bright lights, cameras, nationwide listeners and audiences. When did that feel real?
I don't know. You know what? It's so weird to say this, and I'm not sure if it'll make sense to people watching, but like I won the reality show, which still feels like it was a different life. Like I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a thing that I did and it happened. But I don't think I actually had a moment where I was so present where I was like, holy crap, like I'm hosting a hockey show. I cover the National Hockey League. This is wild. It didn't happen for me until my first year at NHL Network, did the whole year of shows. And then I'm standing on the ice at the Stanley Cup final, and Alex Ovechkin is like from me to like 8 feet away lifting the Stanley Cup. And I was like, oh my God, like 15-year-old Jackie would think this is so cool. And I just had that moment where I was like, I did it. Like, yeah. I'm here. I'm on the ice at a Stanley Cup final. Like, it doesn't matter what happens from here. Like, I did it. Nobody can take that away from me. I'm here. I did it. And I could like just never cover hockey again. And I will always have that. So that's like 6 or 7 years into my career before I really had a moment where I was like, yes.
That's
like,
awesome.
That's just a good Canadian girl there. Eh? She's
Totally.
like Stanley Cup Finals, Ovies right there. This is awesome. I've hit the jackpot. This is the best I could get right here.
I mean, you're close.
You miss hearing that from a good Canadian girl.
And you've been closer to that cup than we have.
Yeah,
so.
fuck it, right? Yeah. Well, actually,
so congratulations.
Actually, O'Reilly won it. Thank God Ryan O'Reilly won it for me, and I went to his Stanley Cup party, and I said, Jackie,
I went to a Stanley Cup party, so you guys have that on me.
I told myself I was retired. I'm like, I'm not going to drink out of it, like this and that. And then Ryan O'Reilly poured some Blue Label in the cup, which is my favorite drink. And I was like, fuck it, I don't care about the rules. I'm like, Factor, I'll have a sip of that. So I turned into like a young Ontario boy. I'm like, give me a sip of the cup. So
yeah, you do you. Live your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jackie, I love what you do on NHL. And for me, it's like the energy you bring when I watch you on there. And like my question to you is, me and Uppy have started doing this, and I do a serious show with Cools, and there's sometimes that I'm just like, I got to be honest, I don't really want to talk. Is there just days that how do you motivate yourself? Because when I watch you, you always have high energy, which is good for the viewer.
I think we all have our off days, right? But I think for me is like I have, even on the days that are hard, where maybe like there's a lot of negativity or there's a lot of like tough things to talk about. I don't know. Like I just have always wanted to be somebody that promotes the game and wants to like bring people into it. So if I'm having fun, I feel like no matter what we're talking about, people at home will have fun. But yeah, like I don't take myself very seriously, I guess. And people always be like, oh, like you're not objective. Like you should be an objective journalist. And like, you're so not objective when I like give my real opinion. And I just say to those people, like, I never claimed to be a journalist. Like I am a sports personality. I'm not an insider. I'm not a reporter. I'm just a girl that loves hockey and wants to bring that to you. And I want the game to be as fun as it can be. And I want it to have as many fans as it can have. And I think being on the air in the States, like I have a real opportunity to at least do my part to make the coverage fun and not so stiff and serious all the time, so that people want to actually watch the show because it's a good time. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and listen,
we love being on it.
And that's why me and Uppy started this podcast, because of that reason, what you just said. Like, and the hockey's such a great sport filled with so many great people, and I'm not trying to disrespect people that covered it when we played or years before us, but like, yeah, you want to make it fun, you want to make it cool, you want to make it entertaining,
and energetic.
I think me and Uppy have gone too far the other way. Maybe sometimes we maybe go over the line of trying to.
Sometimes we're like, tell us how you really feel, Oaks.
Yeah.
It's kind of the way we are.
Sometimes I'll listen to what I say. I'm like, whoa, okay. Your mom listens to this podcast, but yeah, like that's what's fun about it. And like with the new deal with ESPN and TNT, what the boys are doing there, like that's how you can make hockey more appealing, I think, to everybody that don't watch it.
Yeah, and I think too, like what you guys do really well, and I think the great thing about just the world that we live in with social media and podcasts and access to players is that like we can get away from this stigma of like hockey players are boring and they're cliche. It's like, no, man, like hockey is such a great sport. There's so many great people in it with great stories that they're willing to share in the right space. And so I think the reason that you guys have been successful with your podcast and other people have been successful that have been in the league is that you guys are real. And so for better or worse, and sometimes it's for worse for all of us, I think people at the end of the day, that's what they want. They want to feel like they can connect to you in an authentic way. And I think that you guys do that. So, I think that's why you guys, your podcast is rocking right now.
Thank you. We were called a lot of things in our career. Boring, not one of them.
Yeah,
right?
that's definitely.
Our coaches would said, I wish you guys would be a little more boring at times and stay in your hotel room.
Kamikaze one.
Hey, you know you don't have to go out every night on the road, right? You can stay in those nice hotel beds.
Yeah, it gets off. Slow down up, dog. I'm like, I
What
got
was
one speed.
60-40? Was it like, what was it? It was 70-30?
What, like going out on the road?
Yeah, or just going out or staying home.
Yeah, for me it was cities, right? Like anytime I would like Carolina, Columbus, cities like that, I would never go out. But then New York, LA, Chicago, Dallas, anywhere in Canada. Not the night before, Jackie. I would actually go out for dinner the night before and a couple cocktails, but I would pick my spots, like the cities that I didn't want to go out in, I would make sure I didn't go out because I had to catch up on some rest. I don't know about this guy.
Yeah, no, I would make sure I had a dinner lined up that was like an executive dinner, like one that is just proper. Either it's a new restaurant or it's like, you know, telling the same guys, hey, we're meeting down in the lobby, standard 7:00. We're doing this restaurant. Let's bring a couple young kids, like, you know, nice wine, get some sushi, do whatever. But sometimes you couldn't control how the night just kind of turns out. You might go out thinking it's only going to be dinner. And the next thing you know, it's like you had just the right mix and the right tunes were on. And then, you know, you find out there's a concert up the street and you're like, we'll just go for one there. And the next thing you know, it's
2 a.m., Jackie. You're like, fuck.
You know what they say about good intentions, right?
Always had the right intention, and that wouldn't happen all the time.
No.
I'm thinking of one time in particular, actually. But
Can I ask you guys another question? I know you're supposed to be interviewing me, but I have one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever,
she can't help
as
herself,
professional athletes, tried to go to like a hotspot restaurant or bar or whatever and not gotten in? Like, I'm very curious if like professional athletes ever get denied trying to get into a spot.
Jackie, this is a great question. And I'm going to give a shout out to a wonderful girl by the name of Jill Lipsum. Jill used to work for the Flyers, and then I don't like to use the terminology worked for me, loophole, not be throughout our playing careers, but she would take care of us. And there's nothing worse than going to a restaurant and pulling out your NHL card and being like, hey, I play in the NHL, right? Because some cities in the States, LA for one, they don't give a fuck what if you play in the NHL or not, right? But Jill, God bless her, she would call before and be like, I have Shane O'Brien of the Colorado Avalanche that needs a reservation. So I don't look like a douchebag pulling out my NHL card, but Jill tees it up for me. So Jackie, I never got denied restaurants because of Jill Lipsum.
She is a saint, and I attest for him. You need those people around you. I had one guy, my buddy PJ,
another one,
who did the same thing. Now, it goes a long way when you learn from older guys in the league that you go in and you ask for either the right hostess or the manager. You build a relationship if you know that you're going to be back in this city. And we had long careers, thankfully. So we were always going back to the good cities, and it goes a long way to send a thank you text to the guy that moved mountains to fit you in, because they don't have to. They don't care about hockey players, actually. No. In New York City, unless we're going around with our boy Andy Mack, it's tough to get in places. You can sit outside with your suit on and say, I'm playing the Rangers in 2 days. They don't care. They're like, I don't even know who, the Nashville Predators are, nor do I care. I got Benicio del Toro and fucking George Clooney in the back here. Like, they don't care.
No.
So just the thank yous, the call ahead planning. Like, you can't just like all of a sudden at 3:00, like, oh shit, where are we going to go for dinner? If you're in a really nice city, that's,
right.
you're playing with fire. So I hope we answered your question.
No, it's funny, Jackie, too, because like, me and Updog used to do Coachella all the time, right? And then near the end of my career, like, I wouldn't really go to Coachella, but these young hockey players would be like, oh, I'm going to Coachella. Like, I'm like, all right, well, just make sure you have everything set up before you get there, because they don't give a fuck about hockey players at Coachella. And sure enough, they'd go there, they'd text me like, oh, can you get me in the One Oak party? I'm like, dude, I cannot get you in the One Oak party. I told you before that you can't go to the front of the line with your NHL card, and they're going to be like, come on in. It's Coachella, man. DiCaprio's going to this party. You're not getting in with your NHL card. So,
listen, like, Leo's here.
Yeah, like, did my NHL card work at the cabin in Ottawa on July 1st? Every time it worked there. I was like, boom, right to the front of the line.
But it took a lot of heartache for us to finally know all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's not like you just are like, oh, this is how it all works. You got to go through failures of music festivals and going and trying to get into a dinner in New York or a club in New York, because it's just not small town Canada where everyone looks at you and knows who you are, and they want you in their club. Like, you got to kind of earn it a little bit.
Yeah.
And you got to know
your markets.
You got to know.
And Jackie, we got lucky. So when we first moved out here, Uppy and Loops bought a Sprinter van. So we'd go up to Hollywood and party every weekend in the Sprinter van. But like, we were learning the city, and we were lucky to have Kevin Connolly. So our boy Cons would, he would get me in parties and us in parties. Without Cons, we would have been standing in line, Jackie, being like, how the fuck do we get in this party? So depending on what city, to answer your question, sometimes the NHL bomb works, but in the big cities with the really cool parties, they're like, we don't care.
I like hearing that, though, because I think hockey fans just think like, oh, yeah, these guys, it's so easy. They can do whatever they want, but not true. Depends what city you're in. And you still have to, like, learn the ropes of, like, working those angles and meeting all those right people. Did you know Lupul was, like, one of my first interviews in the NHL ever?
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I was terrified. I did my first.
We got to dig that up.
Did you get him to open up a bit? Because he usually takes a few cocktails before he starts getting
no,
loosened up a little bit.
I don't think he opened up. I think it was a pretty generic, straightforward interview, but that's probably on me.
No.
My first ever feature at the Score Television Network
How about when
a dynamic duo.
How about when the one kid, you didn't ask him if he had a girlfriend, did he? Do you remember the one kid who asked him in Toronto, like, so do you have a girlfriend? And he was like, oh God.
Yeah.
Geez, how do I answer that?
It was like a fan kid, a kid that was a fan that got to ask Luke one question or a couple questions.
Funny.
He's like, do you have a girlfriend? He's like, God, it's kind of tough to answer.
Oh, no, I don't remember that. That's so funny.
Jackie, speaking of the Score, did you work with my boy Steve Koulis at the Score? Was Cooley there when you were there?
He was not there, but I met him super early in my time in Toronto. I forget where, but great dude. Love Cooley.
Yeah.
He's always, every time I see him, he's like salt of the earth. So good.
He's great. I work with him, and he doesn't miss a game, though, Jackie. He knows, like, every single face-off play. I'm like, cools. I didn't see the face-off play in the second period that you're talking about there, buddy. Hey, I was cooking some chicken on the barbecue. I missed the face-off play between Columbus and Carolina.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. Like,
It's impressive.
I have to play catch-up with some of the games. Like, I pick the games that are my priority every night, and then the next morning I catch up on the other ones by watching highlights and reading articles and that sort of thing. I don't know how, like... Does he have you seen his setup? Like, does he watch games?
Yeah, he has the hockey basement. So he has a TV where he goes double screen somehow. I don't even know how the TVs do that anymore. I'm sure they do. And then he's got his computer and another computer. He's got like 4 or 5 games going at once.
You should challenge yourself to try to find something super specific that he missed. That should be a challenge for you. Like, spot something that Cooley missed.
You know what, Jackie?
Create a new segment.
I get him on stuff of like interviews, stuff that people said after the game and coaches, because he doesn't really. He's so busy watching the play that he doesn't hear some of the comments that coaches and players make. So I get him sometimes on that. I'd be like, oh, I didn't hear that comment from Daryl Sutter or whatever. But on the actual watching the game, he's hard to get one by. And I'm not going to watch every single detail. I'm like you. The hardest part of the job is having to watch so much hockey. Like, I'm like you, though. I watch a couple games at night. And the next day I do my, highlights and stuff online to get caught up.
Yeah, I think it works for Cooley, obviously, because he knows everything. But for me, like, I just find that I retain information and I have a better sense of a game if I'm actually, like, locked and loaded in it, as opposed to, like, flipping back and forth and, like, 7 screens and trying to watch a million things at once. So I just pick my spots. I'm like, okay, there's, like, some storylines I want to follow here. There's some interesting things here. I'll watch those 2 games and then do my best with the rest.
Okay, last hockey question, then we're going to get into some WWE with you, which we're really excited about here, because we both grew up diehard fucking
Superfly.
I just love the Ultimate Warrior. You're a good Ontario girl, still a Leafs fan? Are you still pulling for the Leafs? Are you diehard, blue and white? What's going on?
So I'm still a Leafs fan because I was born and raised that way, and my dad just, like, wouldn't let me in his house if I was like, I'm not a Leaf fan anymore. But I'm not as, like, diehard as I used to be, only because now I just feel like I'm so far away from it. And to do my job well, I can't just consume Leafs content all day. Like, I actually have to watch other things and make sure that I know what's going on with some of the big American teams. So I'm still a big fan. in the sense that like they're playing really well right now, but I'm like hesitant. I'm like, are you for real though?
I know.
Like, where are we going? What are we doing? Is this like, it's still November. So for me, I'm like, I don't know. No. And I was super confident last year, like in the family group chat, I was like, guys, relax. Like the Leafs are not losing to Montreal. Like I was not worried at all. And my family was like, stop saying that. Like you're jinxing them. Stop being so confident.
I know all my buddies back home, not all my buddies, a few of my buddies text me, the Leafs are rolling. I said, boys, it's like the ex-girlfriend you keep getting back together with, and then you don't think she's going to cheat on you, and then she cheats on you again, and you break up with her. until they win a playoff round, it doesn't matter what they do.
And listen, there is a ring on the Leafs' fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
It is not real.
Listen, if they win the Stanley Cup, I will be in Toronto to celebrate because that will be a shaker of all shakers. So,
when do you like if they make the final? Like when do you have to prepare yourself like for the Leafs and what is going to take over that city? Like, are you okay? They're in the conference final. Like, book the hotel, get things sorted. Like, we have to be there before everything's
well. Listen,
totally.
if they win if they go to the finals, we'll all just stay at Peter Gurgis' house. We'll just we'll sleep on his couch. We'll sleep on his floor.
Invite for that?
Yeah. We'll give you his bedroom. Peter can sleep on the couch too. Yeah, Peter, we're going to take over your pad if the Leafs go to the finals.
That's missing curfew on the road. That's Canada.
Jackie, let's talk some WWE because I grew up a diehard wrestling fan, and shout out to my boys Steve Cramp and Shane Taylor. They still live and die by it, right? They get together for WrestleMania. I came home to Toronto. This is before COVID, Jackie, and I'm like, my boy Cramper, I'm like, what do you want to do? You want to go for marble for dinner at Peter's restaurant, or what do you want? He's like, fuck, I'd really like to go to Survivor Series. It's at the Air Canada. So I got 2 tickets to the Survivor Series or it was SummerSlam or whatever it was. But how'd you get involved? Did you grow up a huge wrestling fan?
So I did. I get asked this question a lot because I covered WWE in Canada for a while, and now I just started working with WWE this year. And one of the first questions I always get is like, oh, like, did you actually like wrestling as a kid? Like, what's your story? And I always am like, yes, like I legit was playing WrestleMania 2000 with my sister, like in the 7th grade, like embarrassingly obsessed with wrestling. Like I loved the Hardy Boys, had a huge crush on Jeff Hardy, wanted to be Lita. Like she was so badass, like flipping off the top rope. And I was also like the right age at the right time because I got into it when it was Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Vince McMahon, Triple H is like courting Stephanie, and like Trish Stratus is in the mix. Like I got to watch it at a very cool time. But like, this is how obsessed I was with it. And I don't know if I've ever told this story like before, but I was so into wrestling that in the 8th grade, there was a wrestling team at school, and I absolutely signed up for it because I was like so obsessed with wrestling that I was like, I'm going to wrestle. Like, I'm going to be on the wrestling team. So you didn't have to try out because nobody wanted to be on the team. So I just like wrote my name down, was in the club, and the training and like learning how to actually wrestle, I was in California for my cousin's wedding. So I missed all the training. And I came back from my family vacation. And they're like, all right, this girl, Amani Garib, I'll never forget it because her and I competed in everything. Like we both played basketball with the boys. So we were like the 2 girls that were constantly like, I'm better than you at sports. And so she had to teach me every single move, how it worked, the rules, everything. So long story less long, the end of the wrestling season comes and we have to compete like at the cities with all the schools in London. And I get to the finals of my weight class, which I don't even know how I managed because in the semis, a girl that was definitely more than 95 pounds was in the 95-pound weight class. But I beat her. I booked my ticket to the final, and who do I face but Amani Garib? And I beat her in the final and won a gold medal.
Wow, that a girl.
When I was like 13 or however old you are in the 8th grade. So yes, I loved wrestling so much that I actually wrestled for a year.
Well, did you put her down with the Stone Cold Stunner?
Yeah, I used to love the Stone Cold Stunner.
Just say wrap the legs around.
I wish.
No, Jackie, I mean, my one question is going to be like, could he have been a WWE diva. Now we have the question because you were a legit
There she
wrestler.
is.
You could do it. You could do it if you wanted. But I'm with you. I grew up like I was Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, all that stuff. And then I kind of like fizzled. And then when Stone Cold came out and he drove that Zamboni to the fucking ring in Joe Louis Arena and Stone Cold and gave a stunner to Vince McMahon and was drinking beers, I'm like, I'm back. I'm back, baby. I am back. This is awesome.
That's epic. My grandfather too, my grandfather Elmer, and my dad Scott.
Elmer.
We were. My dad actually brought this up the other day. He's like, "Did you remember like how your grandfather loved wrestling so much? Like he would just sit and he'd have a cigar and he would just watch wrestling over and over. He knew all the like it was like that and like some soaps. It was like crazy, but he would just religiously, and that just kind of fed through. Bushwhackers." Jimmy Fly.
I mean, I used to love Jimmy Fly. But if you think of the wrestling fans, I mean, I don't go much anymore, but when I went to SummerSlam with my buddy, like, they know all the songs and all the chants and every guy. You're like, these guys are hardcore. Like, they're hardcore.
Oh, they're so hardcore. It's part of what I love about WWE is that the fan base is as loyal as you will find in sports entertainment. If you've ever been able, like if you ever get a chance or you want to just like dip your toe into the wrestling world again, you have to go to a show in New York or like one of the real hotbeds, because then they're like chant. And I'm talking about like good chants. Like I'm not talking about chanting like CM Punk, which is just like, he hasn't been in WWE for a long time. Like, that's just a stupid chant. But, like, real chants where they're having fun and, like, the wrestlers are into it. There was Becky Lynch last night was chirping the Islanders.
Oh, yeah?
She was on the mic, and she's just like, you guys don't get a title match here. Your own hockey team, the Islanders, can't even win a game at home. Like, you don't deserve a title match. Like, she was just ripping into the Isles fan base. So I love that side of wrestling. That like, your bad guys like will chirp the audience and get right into it back and forth. I love that stuff.
I think I know the Becky Lynch. She's called the Man, right? Is she called the Man?
Yeah, or now my new nickname for her, Big Time Bex. I love that.
That's funny stuff, man. I might have to get. Since I met you and we did the show and I've noticed you've been doing the wrestling, you're kind of my wrestler influencer now. So I'm just gonna watch it through you and your social media. And that's how I'll keep up on it. But my boys love it, so maybe I'll...
It's one thing we don't have on our social media, too, is some good wrestling stuff. So we're going to have to hammer
I know,
out some
fuck, yeah. Hey, some good old-fashioned Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Do you guys follow that, the WWE era or something on Instagram? It is the best...
the WWF era.
WWF era.
School.
It is the best, one of the best follows of all time.
Oh, it's
some of those old interviews are just...
When they put up Ric Flair, and he's like, I am a private jet flying, alligator shoe wearing, woo! And he starts doing that stuff. I'm like, this, every girl in the neighborhood cry, woo! Yeah. It's fucking, I'm just like, it's too much.
Oh, so. Ricky.
Jackie, we could do this all day with you. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And thank you for allowing us to come on NHL Now with you. We had a great time doing it. We were playing guilty. It was fun.
We got to do it again.
Yeah, we would love to do it again.
Do you think they'll bring us back if we wanted to come back?
I told them, they were like, when you guys tweeted, like, hey, maybe this should be a regular thing, everyone was like, oh, they're just saying that to be nice. I was like, no, I think we should bring them back on. Like, I think the fans loved it. I think you guys had a good time.
Yeah,
so
I had a great time.
If you guys are in to come on, like, and make it a regular thing, I think it would be great for NHL Network and great for hockey fans.
We agree.
We're in. And Jackie, you're great for hockey. Keep it up. You have great energy out there. You're doing a good job. We will be watching. Thank you very much for joining Missin Curfew.
You guys are the best. Thanks. Have a good one.
Up, dog. The fellas at DraftKings, baby.
They are everywhere.
Oh, they sent me a sick hoodie, nice little beanie. I love these guys.
Yeah, that was a great post, too. Great post.
Yeah.
I love the beanie. Had the hockey lace in there.
Yeah, it's great.
They know what's up.
They know what's up. DraftKings, baby.
NFL fans, the fantasy football season doesn't just start in September. Every week is a new shot to win big cash prizes at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. And this week, new customers can play free for millions with their first deposit. Don't sit on the sidelines, Obes, or you listeners at home. Get in the game.
Put down the clipboard and get in the game. Playing daily fantasy football is simple. Just pick your lineup of NFL stars while staying under the salary cap and score enough points to bring home cash. And with the free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes, you'll feel the NFL action like never before. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want.
It's easy, breezy, Swing easy, baby.
When she's breezy, swing easy.
Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code CurfewKings to play free for millions. That's right. Enter promo code
Curfew Kings
to get a free shot at millions in total prizes with your very first deposit. Do not miss out. Download DraftKings and play the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligible restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Curfew Kings. Up dog. Thank you to Jackie Redmond. Good Canadian gal, eh? Just a good Canadian girl.
Great girl, and I love the fact she grew up. Sister played hockey, girls hockey growing up. That's awesome. You could see she has a knack for sports and a mind for it. And I liked when you said you like the energy she brings. She's great for her show, NHL Now. For all you listeners out there, it's weekly afternoon show. It's a great way to catch up on all your hockey action. Yeah. Great smile, great girl.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be honest, the first thing that caught my eye was not her energy, but after I started watching her, I'm like, fuck, this girl's always like bubbly and smiling and laughing, and it makes it more fun to tune into.
She's a talent.
She's good for the game.
That's why people are called talents. She has a talent.
Maybe we could. We can't afford to probably pry her away from NHL, can we? To be the third part
tripod.
Right here, Jackie. Here, you have a seat right here for us.
Maybe we can. We'll have to talk about a business meeting.
Maybe we'll have a business meeting. So thank you, Jackie. Yeah, man, the wrestling thing was great. I haven't talked wrestling in a long time. So
should we go to a match or what?
Well, if we do, we're going through her because her and this other Canadian girl she was with.
Sophie?
Julie something Brinks.
Julia Bagulia.
Something like that. I'm going to screw her name up. But they sat front cheese at like we talked about. So if we do want to go to a wrestling, we're going to
not go to the pond.
We're gonna go with Jackie so we get front cheddar seats. Right?
I agree. We should.
So we could really take in those WWE Diva matches.
Can you gamble on wrestling?
I don't think so.
DraftKings have any lines on it?
Because it's staged.
It's
and
fixed.
It's fixed. It's fixed. They know who's going to win before they go out there.
They haven't changed that, have they? What about a tie? Can you bet for the tie?
How great would it be if it was actually real and you could bet on it and you go to wrestling
like
and they're just going off the top rope?
1 or 2 times a year, there should be a real wrestling match
where they actually punch each other.
Go for it.
Bring back Mankind and let's go old school.
They would hurt themselves though.
Yeah, I guess they would, but they're great athletes. All seriousness, wrestlers, they're great athletes, and they're
entertainers.
Their schedule up, dog.
Yeah, I mean, they're crazy. Fuck, they're talented.
They're on the road a lot. Jackie, thank you very much. Up, dog. Love you, buddy. Always fun in the studio with you.
Good, Epi.
You got family dinner last night. Say hi to everyone for me.
I will do.
I got to go over there and see Izzy here sometime, Dave.
Yeah, Izzy misses Uncle Obi. Yeah, I got to be honest. She's getting big, bro.
I know.
Missing a good stage right now.
Christina sent a little Insta story out where she was like, Izzy was just standing there with like a look on her face. It was unbelievable. So.
She's the best.
Up, dog. Love you, buddy. To our listeners, thank you for listening. That was Missin Curfew.
I didn't see it, didn't buy it till she showed me that she can't drink with the best of us. Well, she don't get mad when I'm out of control. When I'm blacked out drunk at the top of my lungs, man, she just laughs and rolls. Well, she's my lady, baby.